Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. I, of course, have the wrong screen loaded up. It would never be a start to a stream and it would go smoothly, would it? But there we are. There is my team for this game week. I hope everybody is doing well early on this Saturday morning. We are live here, like I said, in the UK at 10 to 7. So a very, very early start for me. But hopefully, everybody in the chat is enjoying themselves, getting themselves prepped for, of course, the 11 o'clock deadline. As always, if you do enjoy any of the content that you see on the channel, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You know the drill by now. Let's see if we can hit 25,000 subscribers on the channel by the end of the season. We are going really, really well at the moment. We're steadily increasing. Hit around 20k this time last month. Pretty much nearly gained like 1k. Like we very easily today could end up on 20.1k subscribers. So like I said, if you're new around here, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. If you do enjoy the stream as well, make sure you're liking. You know the drill by now. You know the drill. Of course, we're going to be trying to answer as many of your guys' questions. We're going to be doing team reviews as well in a little bit. The tweet has gone up on Twitter, so if you want to get your team in, get it in nice and early, and you've definitely got yourself a chance of your team being reviewed by myself today on the stream. We'll do some at 7:30, 8, 8:30. All right, 7:30, 8:30, 8. There you go. There are the times today for team reviews, and that's when we'll be doing them. So, like I said, get yourself in. We do have a new microphone, so if any audio does sound a bit dodgy or doesn't sound quite right, let me know in the chat. But we did a practice stream yesterday, pretty much. That's why I wanted to do one, just to see where the microphone positioning was and if it was good enough. If it sounds good, great. We're rolling, yeah. We're all good. We're rolling in the streets. Let me quickly just send a message to someone. There we go. And yeah, let's get cracking. Let's have a look what we've got in the chat. The Essex Carpet Cleaning Company. I saw you was in Golden Stream a minute ago. Hope you're doing good, my friend. Ronan, he says hello, Tom. Matty says morning all. Morning, everyone. Anderson versus Senesi versus Keane. Bench one, please. I think you can probably see from how I've benched my team, that is the order I probably would go in. Hey, Tom, start Burn or Senesi, please. I probably would go Burn. I think he's got the slightly better clean sheet opportunities this week, so I probably would go with Burn. Morning, Tom. Thoughts on Casemiro as a cheap differential for Reinders? He's got good fixtures plus guaranteed DEFCON. The only problem I have with Caicedo, the guy absolutely loves the yellow card. That's a given. Loves a bit of a red as well. And he's coming off around the 70th minute. Like, he's not playing full 90s. And it does worry me that game week 14 is a midweek game week. That very easily could be a week where maybe they go, you know what, let's bench him. Let's bench him. I need to shrink myself slightly because I'm just clipping. I'm just slightly clipping the top of that when I lean forward. Which two out of these four would you play? VVD, Senesi, Anderson, or Rodon? I probably would go VVD and Anderson would be the ones that I would go for there. I feel a Mateta masterclass. Haaland might score one. If you feel that way, get your votes in on the poll. Let me know which way you are potentially leaning with that one. 13% going for Mateta this week, according to the poll. That is very interesting. I didn't expect him to be that high. We had quite a lot of people looking at Gabriel last night. So, yeah, let me know which way you are leaning in terms of captaincy. Haaland with 77%. He's taking the bulk of it, of course. Gabriel with 6%. Then Mateta with 13%. So you've got a lot of good lads in there with very, very interesting percentages this week. So maybe going against Haaland might not be the play, or maybe just sticking with Haaland could be the play as well, because ultimately, if more people are going against him and he still does what Haaland does, you're going to get better rank gain out of him. So he might actually drop to something like a 170 effective ownership, so he might even get more points out of Haaland. So Gokeres and Gordon. Oh, yeah, I probably would. I think there's obviously the opportunity move to Mateta from Gokeres. That just makes easy sense, doesn't it? That makes very easy sense. And Gordon just hasn't been delivering as an FPL asset, so yeah. Yeah, Gabriel is averaging 8 points per game, by the way. Haaland is on 9.3 points per start. So Gabriel isn't too far off, and you consider the point scoring that he's done in the recent weeks. It's like 55 points. Over that period, Haaland has been on 52. So he's definitely been rivaling him in terms of points. So yeah, I definitely think there is a case to be had for him. Reece James, captain, a bad shout. Um, it's not like they should keep a clean sheet. They've got the second best projections for clean sheets this week, Wolves. He's on a lot of corners. Not too bad for the baseline bonus, so could be maybe a captaincy shout. Sell Gokares and Gordon for Saka and Thiago -4. I don't mind those moves. Yeah, I don't mind those moves. Not captain Saka. Probably not for me. I think if anybody I'm going to captain from Arsenal, it would be Gabriel. So yeah, that's where my head would end up with that one. Gabriel is practically guaranteed 6 points. Haaland isn't guaranteed for points anymore. Other City players are performing in the UCL. Haaland still scored in the UCL, and I went to that game. He could have definitely got a lot more out of that game as well. Like, he had opportunities to go and score more goals in that game. He really, really did. Kudos to Mikel Merino. It would be probably a very short-term punt. I think after the international break, you'll see Havertz start to be introduced. If Gokares' injury isn't longer-term as well, he will obviously start to be back. So it would be very much a 1 week punt. But if you're fancying it, a little bit of fun, why not? Go for it. Good morning. Gokares out for Igor Thiago or Mark Gui. Gui, I would be able to afford Liverpool defenders in game week 12. Also, which midfielder should I get for stack? Sarr, Szoboszlai, or Rice? I would probably either go for Thiago if you think you're going to be playing this guy, or drop it down to Gui if you want maybe a route to some Liverpool players, because the fixtures are unbelievable, genuinely unbelievable. Some of these Liverpool fixtures coming up. Let me head to the 11ify, not the 11ify, sorry, the Solio projected goals and clean sheets, a graphic put together by Rob T. Again, I need to shrink myself down. I am way too big on these graphics today. There we go. So yeah, pop me out a little bit. So yeah, as you can see here, Liverpool's numbers are ridiculous. Look at the projected goals we've got here. Look at the projected clean sheets over the next few weeks. They're very, very good. Top for projected goals. So I do think maybe with your Gokares, switching it down to a cheaper replacement, because if Salah goes off in that game against City, everybody's going to be clambering and trying to find a way to get to Mohamed Salah. That's all that I can see happening. So I would be a little bit scared of that. That would be something that definitely would be running through my mind. So yeah, something to maybe monitor over obviously this week and stuff. But yeah. Hey Tom, play one, Richards, Rodon, Senesi. I probably would go with Richards, right? What are the clean sheet percentages here? 26. Yeah, I probably would go with that one. How can I send my team? If you want to get your team reviewed by myself, head over to my X, follow me on there. And yeah, there'll be a tweet that literally says, live now, leave teams here, right? That's all you've got to do. Also, after the deadline finishes, so we'll be wrapping up about 9 o'clock, when, of course, all the big boys do go live themselves, head over to my new exclusive Discord with Golden Goal Fantasy Football, who is also live right now. It is the pinned comment. All you have to do is click join. You'll be entered into our new Discord, an exclusive Discord. We've got a dedicated deadline section where, of course, you can send us your teams, and I can give you a little bit more feedback and probably more longer term planning as well to try and help you with your team. Because sometimes if you've watched these deadlines, you know, sometimes I will have to just go, yeah, no, yeah, I would do that move. I wouldn't do that move, because obviously we get so many sent in. So on the Discord, I can give you a little bit more explanation behind certain moves and obviously give you different options and just help you through the process. That is the aim of the Discord. Of course, there's other content that goes with it, the exclusive podcast, the exclusive mini leagues as well, prize mini leagues, should we say, as well. And there are some very, very good prizes. Let's just put it that way. Right. Let's head back to my team then. Let's head back to my team. I can see the chat is popping off very, very nicely. That is what we love to see. So if you're enjoying it already, make sure you're giving the stream a big, juicy like. It does push it out to more people, and that is exactly what we want with today's stream. Let's have a look what we've got in the chat. Start Richards or Van Dijk? Already have Munoz. Good question. I still think I'd maybe go for the double up in terms of Palace. Yeah, probably would ahead of Van Dijk for this week. Van der Ven, Senesi, whom to play? I would actually probably go with Van der Ven, right? I think the clean sheet odds are slightly better for Spurs. So yeah, I probably would go with that one. Swap Gokeres for João Pedro. Very much probably the next 2 weeks you'd want João Pedro, so it's not a longer term move. However, if you're planning on wildcarding within the next few weeks or got some transfers stacked, again, could be very easy to get him out. Let me know how the new mic is sounding, guys. Is it all sounding good? Is it sounding a little bit echoey? Is it too far away? Is the volume need to be increased? The volume decreased? Please do let me know. I am obviously a little bit conscious of that. Kudus knock, 50% chance of playing, worth subbing. I didn't know he picked up a knock. I didn't know he was flagged in the game, to be honest. But yeah, he definitely would be a player I would be looking to get out over the next few weeks anyway. Would you play Walter or Elliot Anderson? I would probably play Walter. Do you think Nico Riley is an option for game week 13? Probably not. It's Pep and City and lots of roulette, and I wouldn't go near it, especially heading into the festive period. It's just genuinely not worth doing. This is my big piece of advice post international break, and probably even with your transfers this week. Pick up players that are pretty much 90-minute men. Game week 14 is a mid-week Premier League round. Like, genuinely, there will be a lot of rotation. There always is every single year. My Christmas party at work usually falls on that week. We all check team news, and always there is rotation. And sometimes it'll be just for players like, hey, I wasn't expecting rotation there. So my advice would be maybe don't look at kind of those iffy, rotation-y risk players for the next few weeks. Because like I said, game week 14, midweek Premier League round, there's Champions League rounds, there's Carabao Cup rounds all around December. There is going to be a lot of rotation. So probably pick those more kind of assured assets, in my personal opinion. That's the advice I would be giving you guys for the next few weeks. FPL Pricey in the chat. If you are looking for another fantastic FPL content creator, please go and check his channel out. He's on his road to 5,000 subscribers, getting ridiculously close. Would be great if we could have, of course, go and send some subscribers over to his way and help him hit 5K. Hope you're doing good this morning, Sam. Hope you're having a good day. Sorry, bro. I did reply to your comment. Like I said, if I can't get round to everyone's comment, I do try my best. But sometimes there will be some that I do miss for whatever reason. The chat will fly up. I'll try and read as many as I can. But like I said, I actually did answer this one. I said that João Pedro is probably only a 2-week punt. After that time period, you probably won't want him in your side, and you probably will want to look to maybe some other alternative options. I probably would go with the Newcastle defender on that one. Yeah. Like I said, guys, we're going to do team reviews over on Twitter, so get your teams sent to me over on there. We'll do the first round at 7:30, okay? So get your teams sent in to me, all right? No worries, brother. No worries, brother. We're trying to help everybody out as best as we can. Kudus out for a -4. Ooh, depends who the -4 is for, right? Play Truffert, Dewsbury Hall, or Walter. I've seen so many people benching Walter this week. I think he just goes back in, right? He just goes back in for Newcastle, unless I'm missing something. I think it's a good fixture as well. I think I would probably just play Walter. Keane, Gabriel, Gahey, Timber. I only have 3 to play. Which one to bench? I think you probably bench Keane, Michael Keane there, right? Everybody else plays for me, really. Very well, mate. About to head out, run in before locking in. Bench boost active. Missing Mateta though. Oh, mate, missing Mateta. That could be a disaster. But hopefully the bench boost goes very well. If I remember your team from yesterday's stream, it did look a very, very tasty and good looking bench boost. So all the best, mate. And yeah. Well, that's what we always do here, man. Always do. So feel free to drop by. And like I said, go and check out FPL Pricey's channel and help him hit 5K subscribers over on there. Yeah, Newcastle's away form is terrible, but I mean, their form in the Premier League is a little bit dicey, isn't it? A little bit dicey. A lot of people asking me about Szoboszlai this week as well. I'm still on the fence with him. I need to go and probably do a bit of a deeper dive. I think FPL Chewy, who sometimes occasionally pops in the chat, did say that there has been a big increase in his kind of DEFCON numbers, and a lot of those have correlated when he has slotted in either at DM or right back. And I think there's probably two ways to look at it, right? You get a guy who can play in the 10 and has been doing very well there, but also he can then occasionally slot back at right back and then hit his defensive contributions. And again, this goes back to my point of Caicedo, right? Is these guys that do hit defensive contributions, you probably have to play every single week, right? There's no like benching them during the difficult games. There's no, oh, I'll play my striker this week. I think you've just got to play them every single week to probably see the benefit. And I think with Liverpool's next 5 to 6, you definitely could do that. So Szoboszlai at 6.6, I think he is now, could be an option. Could be an option. I'm going to do a little bit more digging over the international break. We'll probably have a little bit of a dig ahead of tonight's video looking at some Liverpool assets because he is a name that keeps cropping up. He is a name that a lot of people are asking me about. So I'm definitely going to have to do some more digging, a little bit of a day to dive into him, see where the defensive contribution numbers are coming, see what position he is playing as well when those numbers do come in, and of course, then build a little bit of a narrative. That's what we'll do. Bench one, Welbeck, Bruno, and Buemo taking a punt on Marino. I probably would bench Welbeck then. I think Bruno and Buemo, it's a great fixture for me in the early kickoff. And both, well, you've got Bruno who's got multiple avenues to points. And of course, in Buemo, we all know what he offers. He is that guy who has unbelievable open play XGI so far this season. I think he's third for non-penalty XGI already this season. So like a really, really good asset. Genuinely a really, really good asset. So yeah, I wouldn't deep it too much. Wouldn't deep it too much. Do keep your questions coming in, by the way, guys. Happy to answer as many as we possibly can. Team reviews are going to be at 7:30 over on Twitter. So get your team sent in to me. Ben is in the chat, one of our fellow FPL Cartel members. If you want to get yourself in there, it is the pinned comment. Make sure you're joining and signing up to our exclusive Discord and podcast. He says, what is the optimal formation? Good question, that, Ben. I'm actually going to make you a moderator while you're in the chat. Let me make you a mod so I remember to do it. There you go, bro. You're a mod now. He says, what is the optimal formation? That is a very good question. I definitely think 1 or 2 strikers is now the optimal formation. I don't really see the appeal of that third forward because I think everybody in the game is going to be rolling around with Mateta and Haaland. There isn't a third forward. Like you're looking at like Thiago's, Welbeck's. All right, they're not bad, but I wouldn't probably sacrifice another position for them. I think in midfield, probably a 4. Like if you've got a dream 5 like me that all have the big hitting potential, then you know it's definitely an option. But I think the 4 at the back or the 5 at the back is definitely something that a lot more people are leaning towards right now. So I probably would say it would be more like a 4-4-2. Would probably be the most optimal formation in the game right now. You've got your 2 forwards in Mateta and Haaland. You've got a pretty power kind of 4 and then a cheapie on the bench. And then you've got like, you know, a solid 4 defenders, probably double Arsenal. And then like, you know, some just DEFCON beasts in there, you know, a Palace defender. And then, like you said, a Keane and Anderson kind of just filling in, a Senesi kind of just also being there and rotating around with each other. That for me is probably the dream kind of rotational lineup, right? That's going to be the optimal formation, I think, going forward for the next few weeks. Gakpo to Enzo from -4. Again, I've said this to someone last night. It might have actually been Ben, to be honest. I said to him that Enzo for the next 2 weeks is a good pickup, but longer term, I do worry about him because he's lost corners and free kicks to Reece James in recent weeks. That downgrades him as an asset for me. Then you factor in that Cole Palmer's been pictured biking around and stuff. And you're like, well, he's probably going to be back maybe post-international break as well. So you do think, okay, that's penalties gone. So a lot of the appeal of going for Enzo has kind of been diminished. Like he's still got great underlying non-penalty XGI. He really has. But a lot of it, for me, a lot of the appeal is the penalties, it is the corners. Again, it's all these multiple avenues to points that I do look for in players. And I do think he's lost that. So that would concern me. Are you thinking about going to Salah with the Liverpool fixtures? I do have a plan to Mohamed Salah. I think we put it in place on last night's stream. It would be dropping Bruno Fernandes and Saka to Minter and probably like Dominic Szoboszlai. And then it would be upgrading Semenyo to Salah. We do have a route to go and get Mohamed Salah if he looks really good, because the Liverpool fixtures are great. They genuinely are great. And Salah, over the next 4 to 5 game weeks, is going to be just an unbelievable pick, I think, if he can get himself back in the right direction with those Liverpool fixtures coming up. Matcha Mills is in the chat as well. She says Pen Takers FC. Yeah, someone commented on my post on my team last week and was like, "Yeah, you just Pen Takers FC," and I mean, I really am, aren't I? All the starting players there, apart from the defenders, have penalties, don't they? And Semenyo if Kluivert's not on the pitch, Bruno, Saka definitely is now that Gokres is away. Enzo's the penalty taker, Mateta and Haaland. It is just pen takers FC, isn't it? Hope you're feeling a little bit better this morning. Mills, I know you sent me a message, but I didn't have a chance to check, so apologies. I'm going on the Szoboszlai bandwagon. I have the exact money to go and die to Szoboszlai, but I'm worried about getting priced out if I wait until the move. I don't think you're going to be priced out. He already went up last night, so there would have to be, I think, like a monumental shift over the international break. And usually the international break, it is a little bit quieter for people making moves. Like people just put the game down over the international break and don't really touch it. So I don't think we'll see too many price increases. He had one the other night, so I wouldn't deep it too much. Yeah, I genuinely wouldn't deep it too much. Like I said, guys, if you are enjoying today's stream, make sure you are hitting that like button. Let's see if we can get today's stream up to 50 likes. Get your vote in for the captaincy poll. Interestingly, this is probably one of the lower weeks I've seen Haaland in the captaincy poll. 69% are going for Haaland this week. 12% Gabriel, 12% Mateta, 7% other. If you have gone for other, let me know who you are thinking about in the comments section. Minter or Semenyo. The thing with Semenyo is, from this week, they have really good games. They have some great fixtures coming up, do Bournemouth. So I'd be a little bit hesitant on maybe switching him out, right? I'd give him the next few weeks, see what happens if Evan-Nielsen starts. Does that mean his underlying numbers go up? Because what we have seen is when Krupi is in the side, it makes him a worse asset. But when Evan-Nielsen's in the side, he really shines. So I think maybe Iraola will be looking at that and going, yeah, you know, Krupi's doing all right, but Evan-Nielsen's the better team player. And he brings out my Semenyo, my kind of potential talisman, if you like. So I think they'll be looking at that and maybe going, yeah, maybe we do put Evan-Nielsen back in. So yeah. Reece James, captain. Yeah, that's the second person I think that's had that on it. I mean, corners, clean sheet, second best in the league for this week. Why not? Why not? Really, why not? You definitely could you could take a look at that one. I really do think you could definitely take a look at that one. So yeah, maybe Reece James is the play. Maybe Reece James is the play. Maybe I've got it all wrong, guys. Maybe I've got it all wrong, eh? Get yourself locked in for Reece James. Why not? Like I said, there's a lot of people going against Haaland this week. His effective ownership will be lower. Maybe there's that scope to potentially go for it. Maybe there is. Starts Senesi or VDV? I probably would go VDV. Just the form that he's in right now. Yeah, that's probably where I would go. James played 90 Spurs and 90 UCL midweek. Keep or sell, because if he doesn't start, there's a good chance he comes off the bench. I think, though, he's very important for what Chelsea do right now. It is a very easy fixture, though, so maybe there might be some rotation. But I probably would still keep him. Enzo to Sarr, definitely not with the next two fixtures. Definitely not with the next two fixtures. Not for me. Like I said, Enzo's numbers have been very decent. The non-penalty XGI is very good. Wolves have conceded the most goals in the league, so yeah, go with that one. Bowen or João Pedro? I mean, João Pedro is a 2-week punt. Bowen is a 1-week punt. Right, after the Burnley game, probably is going to be bye-bye for a lot of people that have got Jared Bowen. How's my bench boost looking? Fine, perfectly fine with that. Like I said, if you've got a playing 15, like Dubravka's got West Ham, which is probably like where a lot of the bulk comes from. If he keeps a clean sheet or at least gets some saves, I think you're fine. Like a lot of people might have a similar bench to mine, and I would actually bench boost with this because Krupi minimum gets 1, right? Senesi probably hits DEFCON. If he does that, great. That's a 4-pointer. Rodon, maybe like a 2. So we're already up to around 7. Dubravka playing, maybe makes a couple saves. Like at a minimum, I think this bench boost hits 10. It could hit 10, right? Then you're looking maybe like a little bit more extravagant and going, well, maybe Senesi keeps a clean sheet. Maybe Krupi starts and gets himself another goal. Maybe Dubravka keeps it clean. Maybe Rodon keeps it clean. All of a sudden, that's a great bench boost. All it takes is for one of those players to do their job, like keep it clean, and then like I said, some DEFCON, maybe a couple save points, and you're laughing. You're genuinely laughing. So if you've got to start in 15, then yeah, go for it. Do we think Reece James starts? I need to have a look at some predicted lineups because this is the second time I've been asked about this. We've had plenty of teams already sent in for review, by the way. Like I said, 7:30 is going to be when we will be live for the review. So, yeah, get your questions in ahead of that one. Today be with me. What am I looking for? I am looking for FPL Meerkats post on my phone. Let's have a look. Maybe this is a fixture where they have potentially outlined it as one where maybe they do drop him. Let's have a look. Where's Chelsea? Chelsea. Doesn't have him in on Charlie's post. It has Cucurella and Gusto. Doesn't have Reece James in. So maybe some people are right. Maybe this could be the game where he does get potentially benched. So yeah, want to maybe comment on there. Ugh. Just want to thank you for the early live streams. Much appreciated. No worries, man. I enjoy them as well. I really do enjoy them. I'm just glad we can help you guys out. It's good fun. We enjoy it. We have a bit of a laugh. We do some team reviews. We hit milestones and stuff. So yeah, appreciated. No problems, no dramas. Like I said, if you are enjoying the stream though, make sure you're hitting that like button. It does help with the channel, does help with the stream as well, does push it out to more people. What are we up to? 33. Come on, we can do 50. We can do 50 likes. Tom, should I have a tea or a coffee? And does anyone want one? Mate, if you could make me a tea, it would be really appreciated. What's your opinions on them giving you 5 transfers on AFCON? It's almost like a mini wildcard. Yeah, I think the important thing to note here is if people are still unsure about this rule, is they don't just give you 5, they top you up to 5. So heading into game week 15 or 16, I can't quite remember. I think it's 16, right? Make sure you've got 1 transfer going into that, so you will be topped up to 5. Because if you've got 3, they'll only give you an extra 2, right? So during the next few weeks, I would probably say between 12 and 16, you can make a little bit more kind of short-term puntier moves over that period. That's probably how I'm going to play it. I'm going to be like, you know what? I've got the ability to maybe do that. And for the people that are maybe on like a 12 wild card, you could probably take a little bit more risk because you know you've got those 5 coming in. So you can just go, right, you know what? Let's maybe gamble on Salah. Let's gamble on Salah for the next 5. And I think that's what's running through my mind as well is I can gamble on Salah. I can use transfers up until that game week 16 to maybe fix it. Or maybe in game week 15, bulk all my transfers for the next few weeks. Get to that point, then make a mini kind of, wild card, then get another bank of 5 to have further, tiddlywinks and play around with and stuff around that period. So I do think it's going to make the next few weeks really interesting because I feel like a lot of people, like I haven't made hardly any transfers this season, by the way. I think I've maybe made like 6 moves, something like that. 6 moves, not a lot. We use what? 3 the other week, and then maybe like 2 the other week after that. Maybe like 5 or 6 transfers this season. Again, this week, I'm sat on my hands. I'm not rolling. The team's in very, very good shape. And I feel like a lot of people are probably going to be in a similar boat, right? I don't know. Maybe I've read the room wrong. I've replaced Gahey with Van der Ven since he's Spurs' top scorer. Smart or overthinking? I don't think that is a correct decision, in my opinion. Spurs' underlying defensive numbers aren't great. The fixtures aren't great. Van der Ven is he just keeps scoring, doesn't he? Yeah, that goal in midweek was absolutely ridiculous, by the way. Start 2 out of Senesi, Burn, Richards, Rodon. I probably would go with Richards, and probably Burn would make it in there. If I could, 1 sugar, not too milky. I would probably do no sugar, and a lot of people don't know this, but I am vegan. I have been for years. So, like, the difference in milk. So when you have like a normal tea, you base it off like color. So you'll go, oh, somebody wants a darker tea, less milk. Somebody just wants a normal regular tea. You put in a fair bit of milk, right? Not the case when you're making like a tea with like oat milk or any other kind of like milk. You don't base it off color. You put the smallest dab of milk in, because otherwise it just tastes of milk. If you try and make the tea look like a regular tea, it will just taste of milk. You'll just be drinking and going, this tastes of almond, this tastes of coconut, this tastes of oat. That's all you can taste. Whereas if you just do a dash, you go, this is a tea. This is great. So if anybody wants to make me a tea, it would be appreciated. It would be appreciated. High start sells or pick Petrovic. Probably go with. Oh, is Sells predicted to play? I saw him not in a few predicted lineups. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that one. Let me again go back to Charlie, but I think if my mind serves me correct, Sells wasn't in a predicted lineup. I could be wrong on that one. Let me just double check for you, mate. No, he's in that one, so probably, yeah, I would go Sells. I don't know what I was looking at maybe last night. I was probably a little bit tired. Maybe I was on FOTMob or something, but yeah, a little bit sleepy. Little bit sleepy. Yeah, we are very weird tea drinkers. Let me just say that. Yeah, we are very weird tea drinkers. We are closing on 50 likes already, by the way, today, guys. 39. You guys are absolutely smashing it. So do keep them coming in. We're going to be doing team reviews at 7:30. So yeah, get your team sent to me over on Twitter. Just for personal choice. Been doing it for a long time. All my family is as well. I'm not one of these people, and Matcha Mills will back me up on this one. I am not one of those people that like gives a shit, really. Like you can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? As soon as you say to someone, oh, like you're vegan, they're like, oh, you horrible, horrible person. Like you already know they're a cock. They just are a cock, right? But I'm not like that. I really don't care. Like you do whatever you want, I'll do whatever I want. I don't care. You eat meat if you want to eat meat. Fine with me. I'm free hitting this week. Should I sell Paqueta or Rice? Probably Paqueta. Chances of Kudus playing. I think it was someone said 50% earlier in the chat. Start Semenyo or Minter. I probably would actually go with Semenyo. Shall I play Anderson, Van Dijk, or Senesi? I probably would be tempted to go with Anderson there. Bench Szoboszlai or Thiago? I would probably go with Thiago. I gave my thoughts on Szoboszlai earlier. I do think I need to have a little bit more of a look, a bit of a deeper dive into some of the numbers. But he could be an option. Could be an option at 6.6 because DEFCON, let's not forget, it is just an unbelievable metric. I'm going to have to blow my nose real quick. Hang on, I can mute my mic now. Oh, I didn't mute. There we go. We have a handy little touch button now on the mic to mute it. That was a good snot. I probably would go with the Bravka on that one. How was the Etihad 2 days ago? Supported City for so many years, but never had the chance to go since I live in Singapore. How did you like the goals from the Machine Star, Boy Foden, and Cherky? Yeah, it was great. It was genuinely really, really good. Had some hospitality tickets, so we were in the Champions Club, and he went, "Oh, you're in like a marquee outside," and I was like, "Oh God." But it was great. There's so many free food, so much free drink. Nice seat by the halfway line as well, which was great. And then, yeah, like I said, Foden was unbelievable. Both his goals were just incredible. Same with Cherky when he came on. Unbelievable. Genuinely unbelievable. No, I'm not going to captain Saka. No, not going to captain Saka. I'm taking a -4 to get Gyökeres and Xhaka out for Gui and Saka. Do you think it's worth it? I'm not so sure on that one. Who is the other best captain option other than Haaland? If I was going to captain anybody other than Haaland this week, I probably would go Gabriel. Genuinely, I would probably go Gabriel. Might be a bit of a cardinal sin to go with a defender, but I do think I probably would. Where are we at in terms of likes for today's stream? Are we doing good? Are we doing steady? What are we at? 44. Come on, guys. Let's push it. Let's get to 50. Let's see what happens. Yeah. I'd like to get, you know, a steady amount. 50 nice and early. Would be great to see. Tom, I have kept JP, but I also have Ndai. Should I force Saka in to bring Richards in? No, I'd probably do that. I'd probably just stick with what you've got. I think it would be perfectly fine for this week. A lot of people, I do think, just probably need to stick this week rather than making kind of, you know, some moves. I think stick. I really, really do think stick. Like, just stick with what you've got. It is an international break, remember, after this week, so just probably roll. Take an extra transfer into the post-international break. Liverpool's fixtures have a big swing as well, so worth noting that over the next few weeks. Foden has his purple patch every season. Yeah, I was watching it going, is this the time I bring him in? And I've been there. I've been scolded before. I'm not doing it. Will Krupi be starting? I would probably say it's maybe like a 60-40 for him or Evan Nielsen starting. I think both are really, really good. And I do think either or, like, I wouldn't probably want to start Krupi, even if he's going to start, because I reckon he gets subbed between 60-70. So I would probably prefer to play like a centre-back who could hit DEFCON, probably nab a clean sheet. I did a -4 to buy Mateta and Gabriel, Sol, Gok, and Ronaldo. Yeah, that's all right. Good moves. I think that's fine for a -4. I think, obviously, Gabriel, probably one of the most essential players in the game right now. So those moves make sense to me. Abby Johnson in the chat. She says, morning, everyone. Hope you're doing good, Abby, on this fine Saturday morning. Should I bench boost with Dubravka, Gardner, Rodon, and VVD? Yeah, I would. Like I said to people, if you've got a starting 15, get it out the way. For the James owner, he also might play midfield. True. Grealish went down in price last night. Would you move him too? I prefer Ndai, and I always have for the same reasons that I didn't go for Grealish. Is penalties, DEFCON. Like he's got that extra over Grealish already, right? The Everton fixtures aren't bad. So I don't think Grealish is necessarily like an instant sell. I think if you've got bigger issues in the squad, sort them out first. However, if you do want to move Grealish on, I understand it. I do understand it. Where do you send my team? If you want to send it to me over on Twitter or on my X, whatever you want to call it these days, there is a post that literally says, leave your team here live now, right? That's all you've got to do. Make sure you're following me as well. It does obviously help when obviously coming through, because some of them don't come through. And after we do finish up today's stream, I will be live in the FPL Cartel Discord. So if you want to come and chat to me there, get your team reviewed by myself, or of course Golden Goal, use the pinned comment. It'll take you to our sub launch page, which looks really good, really great. Click the link. Like I said, it's probably going to be cheaper doing it this way than paying for like a super chat off a big boy, one of the big boys, because realistically they're going to go, yeah, do that, do this, do that. That'll be it. The Discord, you've got access to us for a month for pretty much the same price. So yeah, there we go. Have you ever thought about trying challenge? Not for me personally. It's yeah. I already play enough fantasy games. I don't think adding challenge into the mix is probably the right move for me. But yeah, it's what it is. Start with Senesi or Van der Ven. I would probably actually play Van der Ven. Yeah, I probably would play Van der Ven. Ugh. Thank you, man. Good morning to yourself as well. Hope everybody has a decent game week in game week 11. That is the ultimate aim, isn't it? Of course. Like I said, do make sure you're hitting that like button. Let's see if we can get today's stream up to 50 likes. We've already done it. I was lying. 54 likes. Thank you very much already this morning, guys. Absolutely smashing it out of the park. Where are we at in terms of subs this morning? I was hoping we maybe could get potentially close to that illustrious 21k today, but doesn't look like maybe that will be the case. But maybe. Who knows? Who knows where today's stream could go? Stop Reinders or Senesi. Probably would go with Reinders. I want to give the captaincy armband to Enzo. Maybe Haaland will have a blank. What do you think? Why not? The non-penalty XGI for Enzo is looking pretty decent. Got penalties. It's a great fixture. Go for it. Stop Rodon or Senesi. It's not a bad fixture for Rodon this week, so you could definitely get away with starting him. Yeah, go for Rodon. Go for Rodon. Stop Keta or Semenyo. Burnley's a good fixture. It's a tempter, isn't it? No, have they got Burnley? Yeah, they got Burnley. Probably go Paqueta, right? Go Paqueta. How does JP captain sound? Think he plays at Cam since Delap plays. It could be an option. It could be an option. It might not be. It might not be the worst decision in the world. It could work out. It really could. But probably not for me. Colin says he got 92 points last week. Very well done. I have Foden. Should I go for Mbuemo? I mean, if you watch Foden midweek, that would very much tempt me away from it. But I understand the appeal, like Pep Roulette and all stuff like that. But yeah. What do you think Haaland will do against Liverpool? I'm hoping for a brace. I think this is kind of a week where it's a week to go against Haaland because it's not the best fixture. But then because none of the other captaincy options really stand out themselves, unless you probably got a gut feeling, Haaland is just still going to be a guy that is going to be lower effective own this week. So if he does his usual kind of thing, you're going to get more points out of him, more gain out of Haaland, right? So that's kind of the thought process you've got to probably maybe weigh up a little bit this week. I'm not making any transfers this week. Nope, this is just a roll for this week for me, really. We'll obviously have a look at next week. We'll be taking free transfers into the international break. The idea is probably to start looking at some Liverpool assets. So that is Virgil van Dijk. That is maybe a Salah. That is maybe a Cody Gakpo. That is maybe a Dominic Szoboszlai. Those are the players that I am realistically looking at over the next few weeks. So yeah. Does Gyökeres start? He wasn't pictured in training, but it is Arteta. I never believe a word that Arteta says. So I would probably say not, given the comments he made last week saying he'll be back after the international break. And I think obviously with Moreno scoring 2 in midweek, I feel they're probably going to be very comfortable with him just starting the lineup. So yeah, I'm going to say no, but it wouldn't shock me with Arteta. Am I nervous about no Palace events? Yes. They are one of the big reasons that I get obliterated a lot on the rank in recent weeks is, of course, no Palace defense. But hey ho, like we'll pick up points in other ways. So yeah. One of the team reviews right now, it has just struck 7:30. So let's get some team reviews done and dusted ahead of the deadline. So yeah, let's head over to Twitter. I think we've had a good amount sent in. Yeah, we've had plenty. Great stuff. Thank you, everybody who has sent their teams in. Like I said, if I don't get round to them, if I don't get round to your team, apologies. I think we will, though. I think we will. We've had a decent bunch sent in, so we should be able to hit all these. Like I said, though, if we can't get round to everybody's team, I'll be doing more in the Discord after, of course, today's deadline stream. So get yourself in the FPL Cartel Discord. Ronan, let's start off first with his team. Yeah. Pretty steady team. Yeah, probably would make no changes to that. Gakpo is a little bit of a concern, but if he does well today, the Liverpool fixtures coming up could be a decent option. I think Walter after next week, definitely probably a transfer out. But other than that, pretty steady across the board. FPL Pricey, who was in the chat earlier, make sure you're going and checking out Sam's channel. He's ridiculously close to 5,000 subscribers. His bench boost is active this week. Yeah. Again, very, very easy bench boost. If one of these keeps a clean sheet, some DEFCON and the other lot playing, you very easily come away with a 10-pointer on the bench. So, yeah, decent looking bench boost for that one. 2 free transfers, 2.6 million in the bank. And you know what, mate? I don't think you need to make a transfer here. I would take 3 into next week. Genuinely would just take 3 into next week, see how the land lies. A lot of people might, of course, want to jump on Mohamed Salah. So, yeah, I'd personally just stick it out. Bench boost. Yep, looks a good week to bench boost for me. Team looks pretty decent. Yep, no qualms with that one. Bench order, right, isn't it, Tom? I'm getting Pedro and Bruno next 2 weeks for Sarr and Gakpo, and then Pedro in for Krupi, but then starts next week. Could be dicey, that. Could be dicey, that. Bench order, yeah, probably the bench order is about right. I'd say there, Andy, on that one. Do you think I've got my bench right? Yes. Free transfers in the bank. Cheers, pal. Is there any need to make any transfers? Like you could roll again and take 4. I very think I probably would again be maybe tempted to roll and take 4. Like I said, if Salah really performs and he does become that asset we want in game week 12, if you've got 4 free transfers, it does make your life very easy to go and make that move. Because I don't see like maybe like a Reinders to an Enzo for this week and the next week, but longer term, I do think Enzo does go down as an asset potential if when Palmer's back. So yeah, I would be tempted to roll. I think you can get away with a roll this week on that one. Hi Tom, I have 1 free transfer. Roll with the team below or direct swap Gokres to another forward. I mean, yeah, with only having 1 free, I do think it makes it a little bit difficult because I probably would have only done Gokres to Mateta. Now, you could do Gokres to Thiago or to Welbeck, but I don't really see the appeal of it. So I think just maybe roll and again, see what options emerge because you might want to get yourself a GUI and then upgrade one of these positions to a different midfielder. Maybe like a Saka, maybe if Palmer's back, maybe a Salah, like maybe a Liverpool player. So yeah, that's probably where I would go. What was your option 3 here? Or take a hit to get Saka, so it will be Gokres, Mark Gui, taking Reinder's spot with the bench boost already played. I don't mind that, though. I don't mind option 3 for the -4 either. I don't mind the minus. I don't mind the minus. I guess it's all dependent on if you think you might bring in Salah next week, then just roll. If you're not, then maybe go for option 3. Nice. Thank you for getting the finger in, Danny. It's a good looking finger, that one. He says on a free hit, back 5, lovely stuff. Yeah, I can get behind that. I can get behind that. All right. Interesting team. Switch Gokres to João Pedro for 2 weeks. Reinders to Sarr will most likely bench boost with this team. Was thinking of a third transfer for Goodmanson to improve the bench boost, but not sure if that's worth it. If Goodmanson's going to play, then yeah, definitely not worth it in my opinion. Like, don't be wasting like 4 million defender transfers for just bench boosting. Don't waste them. Don't waste them. Should I take a punt on captain? Also, any alternatives for Gakpo? Gakpo might be a player you want to keep in the next few weeks. The obvious alternatives are Minter, Caicedo, Enzo are probably going to be the players that you want to bring in this week. But I would maybe be tempted to keep him for this week. I would be maybe tempted to keep on him. In terms of captaincy, Reece James, we spoke about, could be benched, so maybe that would just put me off him a little bit. I think the other alternatives are for your team would be Gabriel or Saka, realistically, or Mateta. Yeah. Harry says the bench boost is active. Very nice looking team, that, mate. Yeah, decent. Hopefully it works out, man. Another bench boost active. A lot of people on bench boost this week. Could be a week where I maybe get a green arrow because so many people are bench boosted. And Dye looks fine, so I think you're all good. Yeah, decent looking team. Just did a -4, sold Saka and picked up Gabriel and Caicedo. 5 in the bank. What should I do after the break? I mean, after the break, I guess you kind of see where honestly, I think a lot of people are going to be looking to bring in Liverpool players. Like, I know this week is probably not the best week to judge them on, but the fixtures are really good, and that is where a lot of people will be heading in terms of transfers. So, Yeah, that's kind of where my mind would be looking at. Final one of this batch, and then we'll do some more at 8 o'clock. So if you haven't got round to my, if I haven't got round to your team or it hasn't appeared, make sure, like I said, you are following me. Make sure, of course, you have linked it under the correct tweet as well. And yeah, FPL Abby, she says, this is how I'm setting up this week. I'd go King to Sabozlai as I want to do Tarkowski to VVD next week. So I need to get Sabozlai in before his price ride to afford VVD. Still no bench boost thanks to Gordon. Hopefully in game week 12. Hopefully so, Abby. Hopefully so. But yeah, I like the moves you suggested there. Like I said, a lot of people are going to be looking at bringing in Liverpool assets over the next few weeks. So yeah, I get it. I understand it. Right. Let's see what's happening in the chat then, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? What's kicking off in here? Would you bench boost VDV Estev? Yes. Yes, I would. If you like my honest advice for bench boost, guys, is if you've got starting 15 bench boost. Genuinely, starting 15, you're gonna want a bench boost. That's my honest advice. You've got that starting 15, get the bench boost out of the way, go for it. Simple as that. Simple as that. All right. Thank you very much for the positive review there, Andy. Appreciate that, my friend. Appreciate that, my friend. Do Virgil for a -4, need to range my budget, or Canate next week? I mean, if you've got two, like, you'll have one next week, right? I mean, Canate's not bad, is he? Like, at least he's playing. Like, he's playing every week, so yeah. For my team, not sure about Gordon, but Foden. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Play Senesi or Calvert-Lewin? I'd play Senesi. Which sub 7 million mid? Enzo Minter, probably my favourites right now to go and pick up. Bench booster Bravka, Senesi, Rodon, and Krupi. Yep. I went Gok to Mateta early this week. Was that a good choice? Yes, was a great choice. Why up so early? To help you guys out with your teams. As always. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. We're here to help you guys out. Here to, you know, get some chat going, review some teams and stuff like that. That's why we're always here, man. What should I do with my free hit? I don't know when to play it. You could play it, I would say, maybe over the next few weeks with the Liverpool fixtures coming up. Let me head back to the Rob T data, right? I would be looking at where Liverpool's strongest fixtures are. So 14 is a midweek round, so I probably wouldn't use it then. So your other weeks you're probably looking at is game week 12, where Haaland has a pretty difficult fixture. So it would make Salah actually a pretty good captaincy option for that week, right? There's still murmurs that we might get some blanks. There's still murmurs that a double might appear somewhere, but it's looking unlikely. I think the Premier League aren't going to budge. That is going to be where the fixtures play, unfortunately. I think that's just how it's going to go. So I would probably, yeah, like I said, be looking at game week 12 for potentially looking at the free hit, because it's not the easiest fixture for Haaland, as you can see here, with 1.7 projected goals. Now, it doesn't mean because the projected goals say that Haaland all of a sudden is going to blank in that week and, you know, whatever, right? But that's how I would be looking at it. I would be looking, where are the weak weeks for Haaland? It's game week 14 and it's game week 12. Game week 14 being a midweek round would scare the living bejesus out of me trying to predict lineups and rotation and all that, whatever. It'll be chaos. But game week 12, after the international break, you'll have a pretty good idea of what the teams look like. Haaland, you can obviously get out for that 1 week and go with Salah, go with triple Arsenal. Chelsea have got a good fixture as well, so probably go triple Chelsea. Bournemouth have a great fixture, so probably maybe, you know, your Senesis, your Semenyos in there as well, who's also got a decent fixture that week. United's not too bad. Brighton aren't too bad as well. But like I said, it is a significant drop-off for Haaland's numbers. Then you can go into game week 13, probably give him the armband, the triple armband, or in game week 15 as well, as you can see here, with some great projected goals. So that is where I would be looking over the next few weeks in terms of when I might play a free hit. All right, does that make sense for people? Is 96 points good for a bench boost? Depends how many you got off your bench, right? If you got like above 10 on a bench boost, I would say that's fairly good. That's a pretty good week if you've got above 10 on the bench boost. So yeah, wouldn't deep it too much. Looks like we've had some more teams sent in. Like I said, we're going to be doing those at 8 o'clock. So in about 20 minutes time, we'll get some more teams reviewed. Okay. Top of my mini league, only used 1 chip so far. What are the chances he isn't aware we get 2 sets? Imagine he doesn't use them all. I know, yeah. Tom, is the coin ready? I need to ask an important coin question. The coin is always here if people want to ask a heads or tails question, all right? It's always here for it. Heads then is going to be Gabriel. Tails will be Haaland, okay? Tails will be Haaland. Tails is Haaland. So there you go. The coin has spoken. If you are looking for captaincy for this week, it has selected Haaland ahead of Gabriel. All right, there you go. It's selected Haaland ahead of Gabriel. So yeah, if you're thinking about captaincy for this week, that would be the week. Yeah, that's what it's selected. There you go. That's all you need to know. That's all it's selected. There you go. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Do keep your questions coming in, guys. Anything you want to ask me ahead of the deadline, do let me know in the chat. Let me know which way you're going on captaincy for this game week as well. 62% going for Erling Haaland, 11 for Gabriel, 17% for Mateta as well. Where am I from? I'm from a place called Mansfield in England. That is where I'm from. Are you sure Minter is the best for the bench boost this week, though? Does he even need to be? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean by that? Flip the coin, free hit 12 or free hit 13. Okay. Tails is going to be 12. Heads is going to be 13. Okay. There we go. You ready? It is heads. There you go. Saka captain, he's bound to haul soon. I mean, is he though? Yeah. Again, I think maybe just having Saka this week could be good enough. I don't think there's any real desire or need to maybe give him the armband. So yeah, I'm just gonna stick with Haaland for me personally anyway. Should I get rid of Stack with a free transfer? Won't start this week. If he's just going to be sat on your bench, no. Like, he went down last night in price anyway, so you've missed his drop. So if he's just going to be sat on the bench, wouldn't deep it too much and probably wouldn't make any moves off the back of that. But if he's going to be a player that you need to start over the next few weeks, or that spot needs to start over the next few weeks, then of course, yeah, go for it. Triple captain Haaland against Leeds or Sunderland. I think that is where most people are looking, right? I can't remember which way round the fixtures do fall, though. Leeds is in 13, Sunderland in 15. Both at home, both great weeks. I could see I genuinely think I can see it already. There's going to be like a massive swing, isn't there, between going for 14 and going for 15. There is going to be such a huge swing. I know it's going to happen. I would probably look at I think for me, Virgil. Like, it's not a great week this week, but longer term, yeah. I do worry about Palace and Munoz. Like, he's playing a hell of a lot of games, isn't he? He is playing a hell of a lot of games at the moment. So that would be where my concern would lie. Tom, 3 best Gunners picks is very debatable. Gabriel, probably then Timber. And then I guess you go, a 1 week punt would be Moreno. Rice, not bad. Saka, not bad. Hey Tom, many thanks for all the great content. Can you suggest 2 defenders to play from Munoz, Anderson, Senesi, and Mukalele? I would probably go Munoz and Anderson this week, mate. Yeah, they're the 2 I would go for. Hey Tom, if you were free hitting, what would your team look like? I'd still probably have one of Bruno or Mbuemo in there. I probably would still have Saka, or I'd go triple Arsenal defense this week. Definitely would be considering a Chelsea defender, maybe like a Chalobah, maybe a gamble on James. Enzo would be in there. João Pedro would be in there. I probably would still have Mateta. Probably would still maybe have like a Munoz or a Sarr as well. I still think you go Haaland this week with the armband. And then I guess you probably then got just like some filler picks, right? After that, filler picks from probably the best projected teams was where I would maybe look outside of that. Which chips have I used? I've used my wildcard and I've used my bench boost. That's all we've used so far. So No other chips have been used so far in the game. So just the wild card and just the bench boost. That's all we've used. That's all we've used. I need another little bit of tissue. Is there one over here? No. Okay. I need to find a bit of tissue. My nose is a bit runny. I don't know why I always take the loo roll back out of the room. I should just leave it in here. Two best Chelsea midfielders this week, Caicedo and Enzo. Done. That's the only real two I would even be considering. Do I even need the best midfielder this week, or is Minter fine because of the pick? Yeah, Minter's a fine pick. He's a very, very good pick. He is a very, very good pick. Wouldn't deep it too much. Wouldn't deep it too much, all right? Minter's a very, very fine pick. You can do hell of a lot worse. All right? Hell of a lot worse. Do keep your questions coming in. Like I said, guys, anything that you do have ahead of the deadline, do let me know. Yeah. We'll try and help as many people out as we can. 71 likes on today's stream. Let's see if we can get it up to 100. That would be great to see. So if you haven't already, hit that like button. Get your votes in for the poll as well. And make sure you're checking out my exclusive Discord. I will be live in there after the deadline stream. This one finishes to answer anybody's questions ahead of the deadline. Stack to Weaver for only bench boost. This is the thing, right? I don't think I would probably go for Weaver. I think there's probably better options. What's stack now? Like 4.9? I'd rather just have King. I genuinely think I would just rather have King at 4.5. Would you bench boost if this was my team? 100%. If I had the bench boost left, I would have it active this week. Yeah. Bench boost this week with... Yeah, I probably would bench boost with that. Max cold and flu tablets are amazing for that. I don't take any tablets for like cold or flu. There's no point. It basically cools your body's temperature, and to fight off cold and infections, you want your body to be as hot as possible, basically. So yeah, I don't take paracetamol, don't take cold and flu tablets. And all it is my nose is always runny in the morning. Like it just, especially in winter, it just is always a little bit runny. And I don't know whether or not maybe the lights take it, but we'll be fine. I'm not ill, by the way. I just have a runny nose. I always do. It is just a common theme of these deadline streams. I've just seen a bit of tissue on the floor. I'm just going to go and grab it. 1 second. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I didn't expect to be giving out medical advice on today's stream, but you never know what happens in these deadlines. Camera, will you please just focus on me? The camera has been so annoying today, like in and out of focus all day. Who is the captain of the week? I still don't think you can really go wrong with Haaland, right? He still is a great captaincy option for this week. We're going to be doing team reviews at 8 o'clock, so make sure you're getting your teams locked and loaded, sent over to me. It will be great. Would you delay bench boost for this week, risking international break injuries? No, if I've got a starting 15, I would just get it out of the way. I really, really would. Nah, just because somebody's got a better fixture on a bench boost doesn't automatically mean they get better returns. I had Ndai and Tarkowski on my bench boost. Ndai came away with AFCON and that was it. He got a 4-pointer, which was very, very good. And there were better players to play or pick that week, and he outscored them. So, yeah. If you want to send me your teams on Twitter, on X, follow me at FPLTom_. Leave it under the tweet that literally says live team reviews right here, and we'll get those done at 8. Okay? 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. We'll get those done. All right, 8 o'clock. Would you bench boost with this team? Yep. Like I said, if I've got a starting 15 this week, I would bench boost. I really, really would. And that is my advice for anybody. Yeah. I am a happy football hippie. That is what I am, mate. I'm a happy football hippie. But yeah. But you honestly, if you have a conversation with me, you wouldn't even tell. Like I'm just a pretty normal guy. All right, pretty normal guy. Eric, thank you very much for the donation, man. Really appreciate that. He says, took a -4 and Dye and Anthony for Rice and Casemiro. Thoughts too late by now, but hey ho. And Dye and Anthony for Rice and Casemiro. I wouldn't have done that move. I really love Dye. I think he's just a solid all-round pick that has penalties, can hit defensive contributions, can score in open play. So I don't think I would have done it. Anthony, I get. And Casemiro, he plays about 70, doesn't he? So yeah, I don't think I would have done that one. But thank you very much, Eric, for the super chat. Really appreciate that, bro. Really, really appreciate that. I'm seeing a lot of people ask me why I'm starting Anderson ahead of Senesi for this game week. I'm doing that because the clean sheet numbers are better for Fulham than they are for Bournemouth. And I also don't care about playing people against each other. I don't. That is something that has always never really bothered me if I'm playing somebody against each other. Just is what it is. So yeah. I'm free hitting this this week. My midfielders are Rice, Enzo, Esteve, Moreno. Should I bring in Mbuemo for João Pedro? Ooh, no. Need a 4.5 million defender, Keane or Anderson? I think Anderson is better. Like, Keane eventually will get dropped when Branthwaite is eventually alive. But yeah, I probably would go with Anderson. They're both about the same. They both hit DEFCON. So yeah. If you want to send me a team, send it over on X. It will be a tweet that literally says team reviews right here. Leave them here. That's all you got to do. So yeah. That's where it is. That is where it is. Like I said, I usually stream up until 9 o'clock in the UK. Then, of course, we let the big boys go and do their thing. After today's stream, I will be live in the FPL Cartel Discord if, of course, you want to come and get your team reviewed by me. And I can obviously give you a little bit more detailed advice than I can just through, these streams and then obviously when doing the team reviews as well. So make sure you're checking that out. Link in is the pinned comment as well. Be great to have some more members in there as well. Already got a nice selection of members, so yeah, would be great if we could get a few more through the door. We've got obviously prize mini leagues and of course our exclusive podcast as well between me and Golden Goal. So yeah, is Gameras a good replacement for Kudus? No. Start Gakpo or Senesi? Probably Senesi. Want to bench Senesi, Richards, Anderson, Senesi. Would probably be the one I would bench there. Either him or Anderson with the second worst clean sheet odds for this week. Will Walter Modder start? I think he will. I think he will start. I think he'll be back in the lineup. So yeah, I probably would go with it. Just to be sure, a hit to get Mateta in and bench boosting isn't a horrible idea. It's not a horrible idea, but I do think, if you've got the 15 already there, just go with it. But yeah, go for it. Yeah, a lot of us identified Anderson as somebody that could hit those defensive contribution numbers, right? And he has just been doing exceptionally well. Thought process behind benching Senesi over Anderson. Clean sheet odds are better for Anderson than they are for Senesi. Done. Tarkowski to James / Munoz or roll. I already have Lacroix. I'd roll, especially if there's like some predictions of James being benched. Wouldn't risk it. Would probably just stick as is. Minter, not Mateta. Yeah, that's fine. Could you suggest someone over Kudus as he's 50% doubtful? You've got your Rice, you've got your Caicedos, you've got your Enzos, you've got your Minters, you've got your Granit Xhakas. They're probably where my head would be at. Your SARS as well. Those would probably be the players that I would be looking to pick from. Do I think James will start? I looked at FPL Meerkat's predictions and they didn't have Reece James in, so that would concern me a little bit. Yeah, that would concern me a little bit. Do keep your questions coming in, guys. Keep the likes coming in on today's stream as well. What are we up to? What are we up to today? 82. Let's see if we can push that all the way up to 100. Would be great to hit 100 likes on today's stream. Would be great to see. Would be great to see. And Dye, Semenyo, Saka, Caicedo, Thiago, Haaland, João Pedro. Who would you drop? Probably Thiago gets the boot there, right? But benching a penalty taker never feels good, does it? Never feels good to bench a penalty taker. This is what I say about Caicedo, and if you are going to bring him in, you probably have to just play him every single week. But then there's going to be weeks where it doesn't make sense to play him because other players have got good fixtures and you end up benching a penalty taker. So this is what I mean by the Caicedo problem, is you have to play them every single week to get the best out of them. So it means then, in theory here, you're going to probably bench a good attacking player. So yeah. Hey, good morning. Start Anderson or VDV? I actually probably would go with VDV. Yeah, that's probably where I would go with that one. We're going to do team reviews in 4 minutes, guys. So do keep your questions coming in. And then, like I said, we will be getting those team reviews done in 4 minutes. And yeah, hopefully help some more people out. Morning, Tom. Wildcard team. I would probably drop the Sunderland goalkeeper as the 4.5. And I think maybe going with a wildcard with no Liverpool might be an oversight. Yeah, probably an oversight. 8-point bench boost, mate. Nah, you've got to get a 10. You've got to get a 10 off your bench boost. Otherwise, probably not worth it, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think unless you're getting a 10, it's not going to be worth it. Do I start Walter Marder for a front three or start Tarkowski? I would probably go with Walter Marder. I miss you too, bro. I miss you too. Dubravka, Mukalele, Rodon, and Krupi. Should I bench boost? Yes, if all are going to play. Caicedo versus Wolves, Thiago versus Newcastle. Probably Caicedo. Morning, Tom. I have Bruno and Mbeumo, 2 million in the bank on 1 free transfer. Should I do Mbeumo to Saka, Rodon to Virgil? I'd be tempted to do Rodon to Virgil, but next week. So I probably would just leave it. I have Liverpool, mate, VVD, and Szoboszlai. Sorry, mate. I was like skim reading through it. If I didn't see them, apologies. So yeah, probably will be a pretty steady bench, steady wildcard then. Semenyo, Cucurella, or Munoz, bench one. That's a toughie. That is a toughie. Maybe Semenyo, given his recent drop in underlying numbers, but that feels bad, doesn't it? But yeah, I think whoever you bench there definitely could end up with like a mega haul, really. Oh, I'd hate that. I would hate that. That would be a difficult benching decision to say the least. Chewy FPL, hope you're doing good, man. I saw your post about Szoboszlai earlier in the week. Very good stuff. Appreciate that. He says, how's it going? Would you bench Senesi or Tarkowski this game week? I think Everton have a pretty good clean sheet percentage, a higher one. Actually, I've got the Rob data somewhere. I think it's this one. Yeah, there we go. So what are Everton at? 34%. Yeah, I probably would go with Tark this week then. Tark would be the one, mate. When are the next team reviews? 1 minute. 1 minute to get your team sent in over to me. All right, 1 minute, and then we'll get some more done, okay? How's that sound? 1 minute. 1 minute, my friend, and then we'll get some more team reviews done, okay? Who would you captain other than Haaland? Saka, Mateta, or Gabriel? I would probably go Gabriel. Like, he would be the one that I would give the armband to this week. Yeah. Would you bench Semenyo or Ndiaye this game week? Oh, that is tough. I wouldn't want to bench either of them. Who's got the better projected goals? Everton, so I guess you bench Semenyo, but surely there's got to be someone else you can get away with benching there. Would you sell Timber for Gabriel? Or do Burn and Raya for Gabriel and Manchester and Sanchez? I probably would, you know. Yeah, I probably would. No worries, man. I'm probably going to take a look at it in a little bit more detail tonight as well on my video, and probably use it as like the main bulk of research around his position and defensive contribution. So yeah, great work. If anybody hasn't checked out already, go and check it out. Good morning, Jamie. Hope you're doing good. Welcome to the chat. Hope everyone is doing very, very nice this morning. let's go and start reviewing some teams. I've clicked on the wrong one. Let's go and start reviewing some teams. If you want to get your team reviewed, as always, come over to Twitter. If you come over to my profile here, FPL Tom, make sure you're following me. We're closing in on 5k followers over on Twitter. Would be great to hit that milestone before the end of the year. And there is a team that literally says live now, and you leave your teams under here. As you can see, 50 people have sent in their teams already so far in today's stream, which is really appreciated. Thank you very much, guys. You are the best. And yeah, let's take a look at some teams then. I can't remember the last one we did. It was Abby's. Nice. Okay, we've got Daniel's team. He says, sold Kudus and brought in Szoboszlai for a -4 and captaining Gabriel as he's averaged 11 points in the past 5 game weeks. And Haaland has almost struggles against Liverpool. We also had that same narrative, though, against Haaland versus Bournemouth last week. And we all know how that one went. So I wouldn't buy into narratives too much because they can very easily be broken and smashed. I don't mind the -4 move. I understand it. But yeah, Gabriel, not a bad captaincy option. He is my second favourite captaincy option this week. Got 1.5 million in the bank, debating whether to captain Haaland or not. Liverpool fan, so biased, but I don't think this is a good week for Haaland. If you don't think it's a good week for Haaland, look at the other alternatives. Like if you've got a gut feel and you don't think he's going to do the business, then of course, look elsewhere. And if you're a Liverpool fan as well, you know, you don't probably want to watch him score. Sol Kudus, we did that one already. Out of Mbuemo, Gehi, Caicedo, Sarr, and Semenyo, who do I start? I can only start 4 of them. I guess maybe Gehi misses this one out and sits on the bench, right? I guess that's the way you go with it. Either him or probably Caicedo. Those two have probably the floor players, not the ceilings. But again, this comes back to my point around if you're going to bring in Caicedo, be prepared, number one, to bench him and have points set on your bench. Number two, I don't think you can really bench these players because they don't score goals in the conventional way or attacking returns in the conventional way where it's against the weaker opposition. It's always hard to decide what games to play them in and what games to bench them in. So that's the problem you always have if you went with somebody like Caicedo. So yeah, I think I probably would go with what you've got. But like I said, be prepared to maybe either see some Gehi points on the bench or Caicedo, whichever way you do decide to go on that one. Bench boost active for Adam. Nice. Yep. Decent looking bench. That should be fine. About to do Reinders Saka before the deadline. Move makes sense. Get it. Who are you then going to drop out of this lot? I guess it would probably be one of the defenders, either Anderson, Senesi probably would be the ones that you would be looking to bench. Chewy FPL, like I said, if you want to go and check out his Szoboszlai post, it was great. Feel free to go and check it out. This is his team for this week. Yeah, pretty steady across the board, that, mate. Love that. For review, kind sir, obviously Kudus a little bit of a problem this week. You could just play a Stev and go with the back 5 if you didn't want to waste a transfer. Other replacements would, of course, be Enzo, Caicedo, Minter, or Szoboszlai would be in that slot. So yeah, that's where you would probably go with that one. Who would you transfer out and who for? Ooh, budget of -1 million. How have you managed that? Who have you got? I probably would be tempted to... there could be a bit of maybe bench jam this week. I don't know. I don't think I would actually probably make any moves this week. I probably would just sit on my hands and take the transfer into next week would be where I would be at. This is my team at the moment. I have 4.3 million in the bank and want to find a replacement for Anthony. Who should I choose? You've got Minty, you've got Sarr, so probably it's going to be like Dominic Szoboszlai, or if you wanted to go really all the way down to a cheap option, maybe a potential like Xhaka, Longstaff, if you really wanted to drop all the funds out of Anthony. But you've got 4.3 million in the bank, right? So you could go up to, some more exciting picks like an Mbuemo, a Bruno Fernandes. There are options there. Cool. That looks like all the teams. We'll do another round of team reviews in a little bit. The final round will be at 8:30. Okay, guys? 8:30 will be the final round of team reviews. So get your team sent in to me today. Jamie thinks Caicedo doesn't even play today. We have seen him rotated in the Premier League before. And yeah, Chelsea's fixtures are a little bit congestion-y. A little bit congestion-y, aren't they? So yeah, there we go. Do keep your questions coming in, guys. Like I said, I will be live up until 9 o'clock. The next round of team reviews will be at 8 o'clock. And if you want to join my my Discord, the FPL Cartel, that is where I can obviously give you some more detailed team reviews and stuff like that. So yeah, head over to there, get yourself in there. Me and Golden Goal will be in there. And yeah, go for it all. There we go. Like I said, past will be the next time we do some teams. All you have to do, make sure you follow me over on Twitter, and then just, yeah, simple as that. There you go. Leave them under that tweet, and they'll pull through. Sometimes they don't pull through. Maybe try again. Maybe try again, mate. Yeah, I probably would risk it. I would risk it. Slot Van de Ven or Senesi, I'd definitely go Van de Ven this week. Is it worth buying Saka for a -4 and Die/Tarkowski? Nah, not for me. What would you do? Sell Reinders to Moreno, wildcard 12? Yeah, I probably would do that. Yeah, as a 1 week punt. Foden out for Bruno. Bruno, a good shout. Yeah, I love Bruno Fernandes. He is one of my favorite picks within the game. And I might have to sell him next week to go and get Salah in. But hey ho, sacrifice is a must if Salah looks really, really good. Like I said, guys, not all the teams do pull through to the X. Like I'm not being a dick. Like they just don't pull through sometimes. So make sure you're following me. Make sure you've left your tweet under the right one. And sometimes just that's the way it goes. Like I can only do the ones that do appear. I have Saw in my team at the moment. Should I add and die or leave it? I'd leave Saw. Saw's a good pick. He's a very, very good pick. He's a very, very good pick. We're up to 94 likes. We've crept up to that very quickly. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes in today's stream. It would be appreciated, as always. Of course, any questions you do have, let me know in the chat, and we'll try and help as many people. Like I said, final team review will be at 8:30, and then we'll just be doing quick fire questions. Once I finish at 9 o'clock, then of course I will be live in my Discord. So yeah, use the pinned chat. Get yourself in there. I'm going to just whack it in the chat as well for people. Come and join the FPL Cartel Discord. Link in the chat right now. Get yourself in there. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Prime or Red Bull? I've never had a Prime, so I'm going to go with Red Bull. Yeah, I'd start him. Do you start Caicedo or João Pedro? I think you go for the upside. You go João Pedro, right? Replace Kudus with Saw or Enzo. I think Enzo is probably maybe a little bit of a shorter term pick. But yeah, both very good options for this week. Saw, I saw someone say his name. It's like Chaw, right? For Chaw. Again, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Or Senesi. Who've Newcastle got this week? Brentford. Then their away form isn't great, so maybe I go Senesi. Sell Burn for Chalobah. I think Dan Burn has lost a lot of his appeal now. He's playing at left back. Although that bullet header he scored in midweek was absolutely unbelievable. I don't know if anybody saw it or caught it, but the ball like swerves. It's one of my favorite goals I've ever seen, ever. It was great. Oh, mate, this PSG kit is unbelievable. I love this PSG kit. Probably one of my favorites in my collection right now. I always wash it, always wear it. Yeah, it's great. It is great. Chat is flying, so I'll try and keep up with as many questions as I possibly can. Bench boost. Kudu's being a bit of a doubt would probably put me off that bench boost. Think his name is Chow? Yeah, I'm just not even going to bother to try and pronounce it. Last week, I said João Pedro was scoring. I was right. Make sure you captain him this week. Fair enough. Fair enough if you want to go for it. Bench 1, Semenyo, Saar, Welbeck. Probably Welbeck. Why not captain Mateta? I mean, you could captain Mateta if you want. Did miss a penalty midweek. I'm not saying he's not on penalties. I'm just saying he missed one. Just saying he missed one. So maybe. Yeah. Gui or Munoz, which one? Probably Gui. Yeah, I probably would go Gui. If you want to submit your team for review, all you have to do is leave it under one of my pinned tweets. Not my pinned tweet. The tweet that literally says team reviews right here. Leave it there. And yeah, we'll get round to those at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. So yeah, that's where they're at, guys. What rank am I at the moment? 900k. Yeah. Crept into the top 1 mil last week. So yeah, 900k. Hope you're doing good, man. Welcome to the chat. Thank you for the explanation, Jamie. I haven't seen it. What was I doing on Thursday? I can't remember what I was doing on Thursday, but yeah, basically, yeah, I saw that he missed. But if there's reasoning behind it, then I guess, yeah, we're all good. 180k and combined minus 44. Fair play. Tuning in from Vancouver, Canada. Very nice, bro. Appreciate it. Let me know in the chat where you all coming from today. I always like to do this. I always like to see where we're getting people tuning in from. Yeah, it's great to see. Looking at the chat, we've hit over 100 likes on today's stream. So thank you very much. Really appreciate that one. Sean is in the chat, another one of our cartel members as well. Shout out to him. He says Gordon or Caicedo, and he says hello. Hello, sir. I would probably go with Caicedo. Yeah, I'd go with Caicedo. Is Saar fit? Yeah, Saar's good to go. The Netherlands, very nice. I want to go to the Netherlands. What's the best part? Love from India, very nice. My team value is not too bad at the moment. We just keep getting price rises from all the Arsenal players, right? They're just flying. Oslo, Norway, very nice. Andy, obviously coming from Dublin, very nice. Appreciate that, my friend. Start Minter or Joachim Andersen. I probably would go with Minter this week. Australia here, very nice. That's what I mean. We always get a good variety of nationalities in the chat, and I love to see it. Shows how, I guess it just shows how big and global this game is, right? If you're getting people from all over the world that are tuning in, it really does show the power of this game, I guess, doesn't it? Brentford versus Newcastle. What's your score prediction? 2-1 Brentford. There we go. Yeah, obviously Amsterdam's like the touristy bit, but yeah, I'm not that bothered. Poland, I recently went to Poland. It is a great country. Big shout out to them. Same with Denmark as well. Went to Copenhagen earlier in the year. Absolutely love it there. Been twice. Love Denmark. Love Scandinavia. Damn trip to Ajax. Ajax would be tasty. It would be tasty. Sweden, unreal country as well. Big shout out to Sweden. Big shout out to Sweden. Absolutely love Sweden. Been twice. Would definitely go again. 100%. What's my goal in FPL this season? It'd be nice to get another top 10k finish like we did last year. Yeah, that's always the aim, isn't it? Get yourself a top 10k finish and see where we can go from there, I guess. Yeah, Wolves definitely look on the chopping block, don't they, really? I think Burnley will probably get dragged into the mix. Forest don't look great either, so they really easily could do as well. Love from North Korea. I doubt that one. Unless Kim Jong has gone, you know what, you can watch FPL deadline streams. I doubt it. Chewy from Singapore. Very nice, mate. And Buemo sell or avoid. Neither, probably a buy, but, you know. How many top 10k finishes you had? 1, and it was last year. What is your score predictions for the Chelsea versus Wolves, and how do you think? I reckon it'll be 2-1 Chelsea. 2-1 Chelsea. Haaland versus Liverpool, should I captain? I'm still going to give it Haaland for this week. I still think he's a great option. But obviously, if you want to go for other options, Enzo, Saka, Bruno, Mateta, Gabriel. There's so many good picks that you could go for. Looking at the poll as well, Haaland's still leading the vote. However, Gabriel, Mateta, and other also picking up quite a few votes over that period as well. Lots of people tuning in from India. Great to see you guys. Great to see as always. Love to see it. Love to see it. Wolves' new manager bounce as well, potentially. And their expected goals conceded numbers aren't the worst. I think this is the right one. I'm hoping it's the right one. It isn't. This is the expected goals conceded numbers, by the way, for this season. Look where Wolves are. They ain't the worst team in the league. I know they've conceded the most goals, as you can see here, with 22. But for expected goals conceded and for the teams that they've played, they aren't the worst side in the league. So do bear that in mind. Do bear that in mind. Yeah, they're not the worst in the world. They're not the worst team in the world. So maybe the new manager, whoever that might be, looks like it could be Rob Edwards, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe could get a tune out of this Wolves side. Who knows? Who knows, ladies and gentlemen? Which one do you prefer out of Enzo and Buemo and Bruno for the next few weeks? I love Bruno. Like, I genuinely love Bruno. I think he's just an unbelievable asset. So I would probably say him. There's a real student vibe. It's pretty international, so I can recommend the north of Netherlands in general. Very nice nature. Love to see it. My holidays usually consist around football. So if there's some good football, let me know. If there's some good football in the north of Netherlands, yeah, good stuff. Tottenham versus Manchester United prediction. I'm going to go 3-2 for United. I can see goals in the early kickoff, and I hope a lot of them for Bruno, yeah? I won't mind a Bruno mega haul to really propel me up. Should I transfer out Gokares? Yeah, I think my move would probably be for Mateta, Thiago, all the way down to like a Mark Gui if you really want to go for it, or Welbeck. Those are realistically the 4 players I would be looking at. Anybody else, definitely probably wouldn't consider them for me anyway. If you haven't already, guys, make sure you're hitting the like button. It is really appreciated on these streams. It does push it out to more people, and that is exactly what we want to see as well. Do, of course, hit the subscribe button. We just hit 20.9K subscribers. Yeah, be great if we could hit 21K as well. I imagine we'll probably do that over the international break, but obviously we're on that road to 25,000 subscribers before the end of the season. So if you do want to obviously help the channel out, make sure you are hitting that subscribe button. It is really, really appreciated as always. FC Groningen, there's the good team, 5th at the moment in the Eredivisie. Very young team, own youth. Very nice. Love to see it. Casemiro, best 5.5 mid. No, not in my opinion. He just comes off too early. He just comes off too early for me to really justify it. I know he's scored in the past few weeks, but I wouldn't expect that trend to keep up. Should I get Guy for Gokares and upgrade Stack to Saka? Could be a decent move, yeah. Who do you think will be the Premier League title contender? Who is most likely to win it? I mean, if you look at the Opta numbers and the betting numbers, it's saying Arsenal because of the start they've had. Like, they've done unbelievable. So, yeah, I probably think it's Arsenal's year. City, maybe. Liverpool, if they get things right. But Arsenal are starting to build a bit of a heavy lead, aren't they, now at the top of the table? So, yeah, probably they're the few teams in the running right now. Like I said, guys, we're going to do team reviews in 10 minutes. Get your team sent over to me on Twitter, and we'll get it reviewed for you. Long poo or relaxing wee? We had this the other day in another stream. I think I went for poo. A nice long wee, though, is good, but I do like a good poo. NEC Nijmen? Is that how you pronounce it? Nijmen? The best club in the east of Holland. I love fans. I honestly love, like, if you've got a good set of fans, I'm on board for it. Yeah, that's all you need. Good set of fans and I will be there. Still Granit Xhaka. I know the Sunderland fixtures do fall off a little bit, but he just for the value that he is and everything that he offers is exceptionally good. Longstaff is probably another one. King at 4.5. Yeah. Yeah. I do. I do it a lot. I do it a lot. Get for a lot of loo roll. I'm a consistent shitter. All right. There you go. Unlike my FPL team, same here, bro. So inconsistent at the moment. I'm hoping for a good week. I really am hoping for a good week. The dream for Pen Takers FC, as I've been called on Twitter, would be everybody scores a penalty. That would be unbelievable. And Semenyo, Bruno Fernandes, Saka, Enzo, Mateta, Haaland. If they all get penalties, me and Sean have this thing, right? And we call it the bread and butter. It's called the bread and butter of fantasy games. You pick your players that just do the bread and butter stuff, and penalty takers is one of those metrics that I love. So yeah, a consistent shitter is crazy. That is what I am. That is what I am, guys. That is what I am. I've already played my bench boost, but if I still had it left, I definitely would consider using it this week. It's a very good week to do it, in my opinion. Like I said, we're going to do team reviews in 8 minutes. Get those sent in to me. And yeah, we'll have a look through. We'll try and help you guys out. Do I watch NFL? I do not. But I'm currently winning the work mini league for NFL Fantasy. So yeah. And all I do is click the optimize button. So yeah. If they ever add that to FPL, this game is cooked. Bread and butter FC, yep, it's the way to go. It is literally the way to go. Who should I transfer out, Senesi or Caicedo? Probably Senesi. How you doing, bro? Welcome to the chat, FPL Morgs. Hope you're doing good. Hit 1K the other day, right? I hope I've got the right person. I think you hit 1K the other day, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Fair enough, Andy. Fair enough. Bread and poo FC. I mean, I do like a bit of bread, so yeah, I guess that's another way, right? Bruno for Saw in 2 weeks for me. Just have a feeling. Okay. He just has a feeling, does Andy? And usually his feelings are right. Unless he takes out Rice. Then if he takes out Rice again, I know I'm going to buy him in. There we go then. Go and check out his channel. I did get the right person. Go and check it out. Let's see if we can get him up to 2K. 1K was great. You do some really good content, mate. I absolutely love your intros, by the way. They are good. They are very, very good. Yeah. Big shout out to you, man. Appreciate it. Oh dear. That's a Mateta captain blank then, isn't it? That's a Mateta captain blank. No, I didn't call you Andy, Jamie. Don't you worry. Don't you worry yourself. Will Keane get clean sheet points? I hope so. No worries, man. That's what we're all about. You know, we're one big community at the end of the day. Try and get as many people cooking and doing the business. I try and watch as much FPL content as I possibly can. Like, it's not always possible, but where I can, I'll try and help out as much as I can. Some inputs on the captaincy. Yeah, a lot of people asking me about captaincy, so let's run through it. These, for me, are my top captaincy picks for this week. You could also add Saka in here if you really wanted to, but these, for me, are my captaincy picks. Haaland, Mateta, Enzo, Bruno Fernandes, and Gabriel. For me right now, it is between two players. It is between Haaland and it is between Gabriel. It's purely down to the points per starts here, right? Look at what these guys are averaging over the course of the start of this season. Absolutely ridiculous stuff, right? Haaland, the narrative last week was that he's never had a great record against Bournemouth. Then he went and absolutely destroyed that narrative. The narrative this week is he doesn't have a good record against Liverpool. I bet he will probably go and destroy that narrative as well. His underlying data is absolutely ridiculous. He is the main threat for Manchester City. He's still a great captaincy option for this week. But Gabriel and the Arsenal defence are the best side for expected goals conceded, the best for set play goals, the best for expected goals from set plays, the best at conceding big chances as well. We'll bring that graphic up in a second. So I think for me, it is a straight shootout between Gabriel and Haaland for captaincy, right? Gabriel over the past 5 game weeks as well has averaged more points than Haaland per game and has also scored more points over that period than Erling Haaland as well. So if you are looking for an alternative captaincy option for this week, my personal opinion would be to go for Gabriel. It genuinely would be Gabriel, right? So let's look at the clean sheet numbers. Again, all coming from Fantasy Football Scout. Yeah, it's great. This is the expected goals conceded. This is what this table is filtered on. As you can see here, goals conceded, the best. Set play goals, the best. Clean sheets, the best. Big chances conceded, the best. Everything on the metric that I have filtered here, they are the best side for it. And that's why I said, guys, if you are looking for an alternative captaincy option this week, other than Erling Haaland, I do think the captaincy would fall for me on what's his name? It would fall on Gabriel. There we go. So it's Gabriel or Haaland for me, realistically. Whatever way you want to go with it. Interestingly to note, and looking at the poll in the chat, percentages of are a little bit more varied. Like Haaland is still the number one, right? Haaland is still definitely number one captaincy pick. But then you look at the other ones, right? Gabriel 14, Mateta 16, other 10%. So if you're going to go with Haaland, he is going to be at a lower effective ownership today. So it could actually be a week where you get more out of Haaland. So if you're not 100% convinced on the other options and you're still on an orange, I would probably just leave it on Haaland, play the safe bet. But that safe bet will actually get you more points this week than he's probably got in a lot of other weeks. So yeah, that is where I would be at in terms of it. All right, guys, that is where I would be at in terms of it. Like I said, we're going to do team reviews in a second, in another minute or so. So get your teams sent over to me on there. Of course, as always, make sure you are joining up the FPL Cartel Discord server with our exclusive podcast. We've obviously got a prize mini league as well. So if you want to win yourself some goodies, I can't say for legal reasons what those goodies are, but let's just say they're very good and make it very much worth it. Feel free to go and check that out as well. I will be live in that Discord chat after today's deadline as well, answering questions, getting you guys, the best teams and all that stuff. So feel free, go and check it out. And yeah, massively appreciate everybody that does join our little kind of squad at the moment. It's growing and it's great. It's good to see. Thank you so much for the captaincy decision. Bench and dilemma. Bench 2, Burn, Senesi, Rodon. Reinders definitely enters the bench, and then I probably would say Rodon would be my other one. Made 3 moves last night. Mateta, Minter, and Semenyo in. Nice moves. Very nice moves. Got the weirdest feeling Arsenal keep no clean sheet for this week. Yeah, it's called the... there's a thing called the hot hand fallacy, right? And it's where people believe that the same thing keeps happening over and over again, like the same player in basketball. It's basically named after like basketball, where the same player is going to just keep scoring every time he shoots. And I do think there's probably a little bit of that with the Arsenal defense right now, is there's a little bit of hot hand fallacy going around where we just believe now that Arsenal are just going to keep clean sheets. However, football is a game where variables do come into the game at very big extent. And I do think there will be a period where Arsenal probably concede like 3 games in a row, but it will be very low XG and it will be very unfortunate goals. But there is variance in football, right? And like I said, there does seem this very much hot hand fallacy around the Arsenal defense right now where they just can't concede. That's how it seems to me anyway. But yeah, there we go. There we go. All right, there we go. Who to bench between Semenyo, Saw, and Caicedo? Oh, I probably would bench Caicedo, but again, this goes back to the point that I've said with a lot of people. This is one of the big reasons I sold Caicedo, because I was just like, I'm going to bench this guy most weeks, and it's just frustrating. Really, really frustrating. Right, it has just gone half past. Let's get the final round of team reviews done. Like I said, I will be doing more team reviews in the FPL Cartel Discord after today's stream has finished at 9 o'clock UK time. Okay, cool. Let's then head over to Twitter. What we got? We got lots sent in. Oh, a decent amount have been sent in. Great stuff. Thank you, everybody who has sent in their team. Like I said, if you want to obviously get yourself involved in these in future weeks, make sure you're following me on Twitter. Make sure, of course, when I do go live, you are subscribed with the bell notifications on as well, as it is very much appreciated. I'm scared Caicedo won't even hit DEFCON. 0 attacking returns, and Gahey gets a clean sheet. I'm really not sure. My straight answer probably would be I would prefer to play Gahey ahead of Caicedo, but honestly, whoever you end up benching will end up scoring points. It's just the way it's going to go. Dan says 1 free transfer, 0.3 in the bank. Not liking the 4 at the back this week, but don't feel I have much to do with the second transfer. I personally would just leave it. I think the team looks completely fine. Don't overthink it. Your team's good. Take 2 into next week. This team, obviously Gokeres, but like you've already got Mateta, so I guess it would be down to a cheapy striker. Maybe then looking to get a Gabriel in here, because no Gabriel is a big killer for me. Yeah, I imagine your rank has been absolutely getting bummed with no Gabriel in there. Thinking about rolling, who would you bench? Yeah, I probably would maybe go with something like that. Yeah, I probably would. I probably would go with something like that. I think you're all good there, bro. Do I bench boost Thiago instead of Gokeres? Yeah, you could do that. That wouldn't be the worst move in the world. Gets the bench boost out of the way. Thiago's not a bad forward to have either. I guess it's just a case of, do you think you might want to get Salah in, next week? Because if you do want to get Salah in, my question would be to you then, would be like, how do you go about that with a third striker already in? You know what I mean? But I guess you've still got that bench boost to play, so maybe, yeah, doing that move makes sense. Hi Tom, here is my team. Wanting to buy Rice, but don't know how to remove. I mean, it probably would be Gakpo, right? Gakpo or Grealish would be one of the ones that would make way if you wanted to get Rice, in my opinion. So yeah, that's where I probably would go with that one. Who do I bench, Senesi or Anderson? I feel like Aston Villa's attack is weak. If you feel that way, play Senesi then. I know Anderson has the better clean sheet projections according to the Rob T betting data. So yeah, that's the way that I've learnt with it. Your thoughts on switching Gokeres and Reinders to Mateta and Sol only for 2 rounds, and I used the wild card in 13. I'm also unsure on start Porro. I probably, yeah, I would do those moves for the next 2. Yeah. Or you could go Moreno, like if you really wanted to. Like I think he'll probably start up front. If you really wanted to go down that route, that could also be a route that you maybe look at. Chelsea Carefree. Yeah, decent looking team. Who to bench? Who to cap? 4 million. I think you could probably get away with this week just playing that team. I think that's a very, very good team for this week. 4 million in the bank, though. You could upgrade like Dewsbury to. Could you get Fernandez? Could you get like a. I don't know. Could you get a Fernandez? Could you get maybe like a Bruno potentially with that money? Potentially, maybe. But I think otherwise you could very easily just get through with that team. It's a very good team. Right, this is going to be the final review of today's deadline stream. Thank you to everybody that has sent in their teams. Massively do appreciate it. You know, we'll have another look in 10 minutes. All right, we'll do another one in 10 minutes. So if you haven't already, get your teams in the Twitter and we'll do another one in 10 minutes, okay? I have a good feeling for Rodon, but it's a coin toss between Rodon and Burn. Brentford seem like they can score. Forest can't stop. Can be stopped. That is my feeling. If that's your feeling, then I would play Rodon this week. And the rest of the team looks pretty decent, so carry those transfers through would be my advice. Like I said, we'll do another round in 10 minutes, okay, guys? Get your teams sent in to the Twitter, and we'll do another one in 10 minutes. The final one will be in 10 minutes. Good stuff. If your team didn't pull through, make sure you are leaving it under the correct tweet. Make sure you're following me as well on Twitter. Like sometimes they just won't pull through. Unfortunately, that is just the way the X works. It just is. And like I said, we'll be doing more team reviews in the Discord after today's stream does finish. So make sure you are joining. It is the pinned comment. Get yourself in the FPL Cartel Discord. It would be much appreciated. Much appreciated. We've got a nice little community going over there. So would be great to see. Like I said, we're going to do another round of team reviews in about 10 minutes time. So get your teams sent in. Any questions you've got as well, get them in the chat. Of course, if you are new to the channel as well, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Really, really appreciate everybody that does hit that subscribe button as we are on that road to 25,000 subscribers. I'm just going to have a quick drink. Feel refreshed, feel good. We're also closing in on 150 likes on today's stream, guys, by the way. So if you are enjoying it, make sure you hit that like button. It would be it'd be great to hit 150 likes. Get your votes in for the captaincy poll for this week as well. Looking like Haaland still going to be the majority of people's captains, but of course, other players are lingering as well. Mateta, Gabriel, and other also doing pretty decent across the board. Any Gakpo replacements? I do think it is probably, if you've got the money to go up to Brian Mbeumo or Bruno Fernandes, great pickups. Szoboszlai, if you want to keep that Liverpool theme with good fixtures for 12 onwards. Minter, Enzo, also fairly decent pickups as well in that bracket. Caicedo and Rice also as well, pretty steady. Is Van der Ven on your radar? His goal in the UCL was a beauty? No. Spurs' XG conceded numbers are just too bad for me to consider right now. Doesn't hit defensive contributions. So, yeah. I think Bowen as a 1 week punt is fine. Longer term, probably not. Like, I think outside of Mateta and Haaland, the forward options don't really sell themselves to me. Oh, my back. Oh. Whew. Start Senesi or King? I'd start Senesi. Start VVD or Senesi? I'd actually go VDV this week. Andy's got the right idea as well. Make sure you join in the FPL Cartel. It does, of course, include an exclusive weekly podcast with me and Golden Goal, who is also live right now. You get to enter a prized mini league as well. The prize is actually very, very good. So if you're having a pretty decent season, get yourself in there. You've got a very good chance of winning at end of season prize. We've also got monthly prizes as well, some merch, stuff like that to give away to you guys. Like I said as well, you can get yourself in there. And of course, ask me and Tom questions ahead of the deadline. It's also obviously a brand new community as well, so there aren't too many people in there. So pretty much we can get around to everybody's teams as quick as we possibly can. All right. So make sure you join in the FPL Cartel. That is the pinned comment. Get yourself in there after today's stream. Really, really appreciate everybody that, of course, signs up and joins. Senesi, Tarkowski, Akpom, Burn. I probably would. Oh, you deleted your comment. Okay. VDV against United is a good pick. He's an all right pick. He's an all right pick. Like, the clean sheet numbers for him and Senesi, they're both a bit mid. They are both a bit mid. But I would just say maybe given his recent goal scoring form, that will probably be enough to send him over the edge. Like, Senesi's not even been hitting DEFCON in recent weeks. So, yeah, that's probably the way I would lie with that one. Is Mbeumo a good captaincy option? He might not be. He might be, actually, because Spurs' XG conceded, they're not the best in the world. His underlying data, the third best for non-penalty expected goals. So he is a good pickup. He is a very, very good pickup. Senesi, Tarkowski, Akpom, Burn, start 2. Does Akpom play today? I don't think he does. If he's in some predicted lineups, then maybe take the gamble on him. Otherwise, I probably would go with Tarkowski and Senesi. Is Foden a good pick? He's always in and out, isn't he? He's very in and out, is Phil Foden. That's your problem with him if you were to go for him. He's a very much in and out player. Can have good spells, can have bad spells. He's very streaky, is what I would say. Then you've got Pep Roulette. You've got a lot of fixtures coming up over the next few weeks as well. My big piece of advice for people is remember that game week 14 is a midweek game week. It is a midweek game week, so do be prepared for lots of rotation. So maybe bear that in mind with your transfers, obviously leading into this week. Great content, mate. Love your early deadline stream. Thoughts on Bruno captain today? Hey, look, Bruno has probably been one of the best players not to have scored well this season, right? The 2 penalty misses, the close defcons. He has multiple avenues to points. I am a big fan of Bruno Fernandes, right? Why not? If you really have a gut feel for it and you fancy it, go for it. Genuinely go for it. I think there will be goals in that game, and hopefully Bruno's involved. Hopefully he's involved. At the moment, my captaincy is on Haaland, but do you think Mateta could be a good differential? I do indeed, but I think Mateta just being by himself already owned is still a very good pick anyway. Haaland, his effective ownership will be slightly lower this week, so maybe there is a reason to, of course, go against him, but that could also work in the same way where because his effective ownership is lower, you're going to get more points out of Erling Haaland with him as the potential option. So yeah, there's lots going for him. There's lots going against him. We're going to do team reviews in about 3 minutes time. Okay, guys, the final round of team reviews. If you're enjoying today's stream, make sure you're hitting that like button. Let's see if we can get to 150 likes. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button as well. We're on that road to 25,000 subscribers. And if I don't get around to your question or your team, make sure you're joining the FPL Cartel Discord. Link is the pinned comment. Okay, guys? Best alternative for Riders. Also, he had a decent midweek. He was great midweek. I went to the game and you don't sometimes watch it. You know, when you watch a player in real life and when you watch them on telly, you don't notice all the good things that they do. He was excellent midweek. He was just linking everything up. He was unbelievable. I was like, oh my God, this guy is absolutely one of the best midfielders I've ever seen play football. He was great. But for me, I do think he's probably not an FPL option right now. And the replacements are probably, you're looking at your Minters, you're looking at Caicedos, you're looking at Enzos, you're looking at SARS. They're probably where your head is going to be at. And Dye is still a great option that I think that so many people are overlooking. Now, he does head to AFCON. That is probably his only downside, but he's still a fantastic player and a fantastic pickup. Has our stream dropped or has my laptop stopped working? I can't tell which one's which. I hope it's the laptop stopped working. Bench free, Senesi, VDV, Minter, Caicedo, Richards. I would bench. That's a toughie. I would probably bench Senesi, VVD, Minter. Play Caicedo and Richards. When our team reviews, we'll do them in 1 to 2 minutes, okay? Hi, Tom. Please bench one out of Anderson, Richards, Senesi, Rodon. Rodon makes the bench for me there, mate. Should I captain Mateta over Gabriel if I have triple Arsenal defence? That is true. That is true. I think if you've got triple Arsenal defence, maybe look at alternative options. But at the same time, it could work the other way where you get that triple Arsenal defence, you get the clean sheet, you get Gabriel's points as well. Could be huge. Could be huge. João Pedro triple captain. Hey, if you're fancying it, go for it. But I think a lot of people will probably be looking at Haaland in 13 or 15 with Leeds and Sunderland at home. Bear in mind, though, that is, of course, sandwiched in between a mid-week Premier League round. So maybe some early subs for Haaland could be on the cards there for that week. Yeah. We're one away from 150 likes, by the way, on today's stream. So if you are enjoying it, make sure you are hitting that like button. It is appreciated as always on the channel. But yeah. Right, let's head over back to Twitter and let's get the final round of team reviews done for today's stream. Like I said, make sure you all follow me over on Twitter. Make sure you're leaving it under the post that is literally marked team reviews right here. And that will be the best way to go. So we've got a few sent in. Vibe sent theirs in. Thoughts on captaining Enzo this week for upside. Didn't work out well with Saka last week, but I'm 2 mil and need a punt. Why not? Why not? If you really, really fancy it, yeah. And if you are quite far back, don't worry about still going with Haaland captain. He's still going to be a good pick. You'll just have to rely a little bit more on the other players doing well. But yeah, I think sometimes people get caught in this mind where they're like, damn, I'm so far back, I need to do something drastic. No, still continue to play the game and you'll still go up the ranks. You just will. So don't think just because you're at 2 mil, you need to do something drastic. But if you want to do it, do it. Hi, Tom. What do you think? 0.6 in the bank, 1 free transfer. Good, easy roll this week. Very easy roll on that one. Hi, Tom. Would you bench boost with this team? Already got used free transfers on Gabriel, so -4. I think you could bench boost with that. Yeah, bench boost with that. That's fine. That's a fine bench boost, that. 1 clean sheet and you're cooking in there. Obviously, the Burnley, if they keep a clean sheet, you are laughing. That's a great bench boost if that's the case. KB, Gabriel captain, nice. No Haaland. Oh, Haaland on the bench. Get Haaland in there. Haaland has to start ahead of Welbeck or Mateta for me there. Crazy benching Haaland. Would you bench Senesi over any of my starters? No. 1 free transfer. Who should I use it on? Personally, my advice, nobody. I think your team is perfectly fine for this week. A very easy roll. There is probably no reason to make a transfer, in my opinion. Take 2 into next week. Have a little bit more wiggle room to play with. Right, that is going to be the final team that has been sent in. Thank you for everybody that has, of course, sent their teams into me today. Massively do appreciate it. And yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep answering some questions. It's only a game week 11. Plenty of bad players above you. Don't need to take any risks yet. 100%. There are people that have probably spunked all their chips within the first 10 game weeks and are sat above you, right? They are sat above you. That is it. They will be sat above you. So don't deep it too much, all right? Genuinely don't deep it too much. If anybody wants any more team reviews, obviously, I'm not doing any more on today's deadline stream. If you want any more team reviews, head over to my Discord. The link is in the pinned comment. Check it out. Join us. Me and Golden Goal will be in there after the deadline, reviewing people's teams, helping out, and yeah, we'll be going for them all over there. I didn't skip any. Those are all the ones that were there, unfortunately. If it doesn't appear in the notifications tab, there's not much I can do. Not much I can do. Rice over Caicedo, I think. Yeah, I probably would say the same. I think Rice has got more avenues to points, right? Yes, I would still bench boost if this was the team I had. I would still bench boost if the team I had. Does Calafiori start? Yeah, I reckon he does. Start Gabriel, Timber, Senesi, and Dye, Anderson, Richards. Gabriel, Timber, and Dye, and probably Richards make the start there. I'd go Sanchez this week. Great clean sheet odds for Chelsea. This is the week where you play Sanchez, right? This is definitely the week where you play Sanchez. I don't want to captain Haaland, so should I captain Gabriel? He would be my alternative. He would be my alternative if I wanted to captain somebody this week. It would be him. So yeah. Do I transfer out Kudus Boss with a budget of 6.6 million or sub in Krupi? I would actually probably make the transfer there. I wouldn't be relying on Krupi. Sanchez probably gets the start. Play -4 to do stack to Enzo to play the bench boost. Yeah, I think I probably would do that. Start 4, Gabriel, Timber. Oh, we did that one. I said Gabriel, Timber, and Dye and Richards for me. Richards. Yeah, keep the questions coming in, guys. Please don't spam in the chat, though. If you do spam, one of the mods will put you on mute for a minute. But yeah, please don't spam. We'll try and get around to as many questions as we can in the remaining time we are live as well. But yeah, it's been a good stream. It's been a steady little stream today. Like I said, after obviously we do finish up at 9 o'clock, we will be heading over to the Discord. And yeah, we'll be chatting away in there, reviewing teams and all that good stuff. Thanks, Tom. Is it okay not to own any Chelsea attack this week? It could be scary. It could be very, very scary not to own any Chelsea attackers. It really could. But hey ho, if they blank, they blank. Who would you recommend instead of Kudus with AFCON looming? I think my top pick, short term, would be Enzo. I think when Palmer's back, he loses a lot of his appeal. Minter, very steady, not heading to AFCON. Depends what your budget is. If you've got the big boy budget, Bruno Fernandes is my favorite all-timer pick. Saw again could be a very steady Eddie over the next few weeks. Yeah, that's probably where I'd be. And then if you want to just stick a DEFCON boy in there, it would be Caicedo or it would be Rice, wouldn't it? Would be Rice, really. I'm heading out. Good luck this game week. Good luck to you as well, my friend. Hope you're doing decent. I hope you're doing decent. Jamie says he's not worried about any Chelsea attackers. And usually when Jamie makes these bold predictions, he is right. So maybe he's onto something this week. Hi, Tom. Do you think Kudos will play this week? I don't think he will. If there's doubts around him, I probably, wouldn't go for it. Should I captain Mateta over Gabriel if I have triple Arsenal defense? Again, I went through this one. Like I said, it could work out where you, of course, not Garnacho. It could work maybe like this week, maybe next week, but longer term, that is booking in another transfer, in my opinion. And he'll probably come off around like 60, 70. So yeah, I don't think I would go Garnacho. But yeah, triple Arsenal defense could work one way or the other, right? It could be absolutely amazing and you get it, especially with the captaincy. Like you could be absolutely buzzing. Or like you said, you could lose 3 players' points just like that. So it's how big your risk appetite is. I think I probably would look elsewhere for captaincy. Yes. You could just go for Haaland, right? You could just stick it on Haaland. That's fine. You've already got that triple Arsenal defense. That's probably going to make up the points if Gabriel does go off in terms of captaincy as well. So, yeah, that's where I'd sit on that one. That is where I would sit on that one. I'm really looking forward to seeing what his numbers are going to be this week, because I imagine they could be a bit crazy. The camera doesn't want to focus. But yeah, over 300 of you in the chat now. Really appreciate everybody flying in here. Get your questions in, make them nice and clear and concise so we can try and get through as many as we possibly can. If you are enjoying the stream as well, make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure as well you are subscribed to the channel. We're on that road to 25,000 subscribers. And of course, make sure you're joining the FPL cartel. Link in the pin chat, is the link to our new Discord. We will be doing more team reviews and stuff once we wrap up on today's stream. What questions have we got in the chat? Start one, Juve, Van de Ven or Truffet. I would probably go with Van de Ven on that one. Rodon, Senesi, Cash. I'd probably start Senesi. Hello, I'm in a FPL draft league with my friend. Should I start my defense? LaCroix, Chor, Timber probably would be the ones. Should I start Senesi over Gakpo this week, or should I take a -4? I would probably just start Senesi. I don't think that's necessarily worth a -4 in my opinion. Not for me anyway. Yeah, I don't think I'd do the -4 for that one. Not probably, yeah, like I said, not worth the -4. Start two, Juve, Van de Ven, Truffet. Probably Juve and Van de Ven would be the ones I would probably go for in that regard. Play 3 of Ndai, Saar, Paqueta, and Semenyo, and play Goodmanson or Akpom. If Akpom's going to play, then probably chuck him in if he's in the predicted lineups. Play the 3, I'd probably go Ndai, Saar, and maybe Paqueta edges it ahead of Semenyo this week. Best Reinders replacement, 5.7 or under for this week only. Oh, Longstaff. I guess if you just need a 1-weeker. Yeah, Longstaff or maybe like Jaden Anthony at 5.5. That's probably where you're looking if you just want a 1-weeker. Yeah, if you just want a 1-week punt, that is probably where your head ends up, right? That's probably where it heads up. Reinders to Cherky. I mean, Cherky's been unbelievable when he's seen minutes, but yeah, I don't think I would do any. No more team reviews on today's stream. They will all be in the Discord now if you want to go and get your team reviewed by myself. We'll be doing them over in Discord once we wrap up today's stream. Of course, as always, we usually let the big boys go and do their things like after 9 o'clock anyway. Your Andys, your Focals, all that. We usually go and let them do their thing. I captain Saka. Very nice. I hope it works out for you, mate. As a fellow Saka owner, I wouldn't mind some points for him. Yeah, I wouldn't mind some points from him. Oh, Reece James, captain differential. I've seen on a few predictions that he's actually not in the starting lineup, so I probably wouldn't maybe go with him in terms of an armband for this week, just because that would be my fear that he actually misses out. So yeah, I probably would just play it safe and probably just go with Haaland. That's probably where my head would be at. Like I said, if you are enjoying today's stream, by the way, guys, make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure, of course, you are subscribing to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. We're on that road to 25,000 subscribers, and it'd be great if we could hit it. Great if we could hit it by the end of the season. %. Andy's hit the nail on the head there. This is the time where I would be looking at 90-minute men. Yeah, I would want 90-minute men. Game week 14, for anybody wondering, is a mid-week round in December. There's lots of European football coming up. There's lots of Carabao football coming up. This is the time of year where we see a lot of random benchings, especially for those more kind of, fringy 60, 70-minute players. This is the time. Don't be caught. Don't then have to make further transfers on those. Yeah, that would be that's a great piece of advice, Andy. United versus Spurs prediction. I've gone with 3-2 for United. I'm hoping for a Bruno masterclass. You suggest starting KDH over King yesterday, but I spoke to a Fulham fan and he said King due a goal or assist. Could you tell me if KDH is still on set pieces? I believe so, yeah. I think he is still on set pieces, but if you want to go for King and you've spoke to a Fulham fan, hey, look, go for it. Go for it. I would just say, though, he does get some early substitutions, and that would be my concern. And Dye or JP, I probably would lean more towards João Pedro this week. If you can still go with Saka over Rice, as Saka is more easy to change with Palmer as soon as he's back. That is also a very, very good point. Saka could be a placeholder for, of course, Salah, or could be for Palmer, or could be for a United midfielder. Like, that is the beauty of him, is he does have options where you can kind of move it around. So yeah. And Dyer's captain, good choice. Probably not for me. I think Ndiaye just being himself is a good enough pick. You don't have to go crazy with it. Senesi or Reinders, Senesi, Saliba or Calafiori, who'd transfer in. Probably would prefer Saliba. Reckon JP could be a good differential captain. He could be. And like I said, it looks like from the poll, less people are going for Haaland this week. Like, this is one of the weeks where Haaland has been quite down compared to other weeks. So yeah, definitely you could go against Haaland this week. KDH is a yellow card merchant. He does love it. His DEFCON is also pants, but for what you're paying, like, he just his set pieces, like that's purely it, isn't it? Start Gahey or Van de Ven. I would actually go Gahey. Crystal Palace are actually the second best side for expected goals from set plays. And a big part of that is Gahey with the flick-ons. He's absolutely incredible at it. That's where he's been picking up a lot of attacking returns so far this season. What do you think about switching Bruno out for Mbeumo? I just feel watching United, he's the better option. I wouldn't do that. That for me is a waste of a transfer. That is just a waste of a transfer because he goes off to AFCON in like 5 or 6 game weeks time. So you're going to have to then take him back out. And Bruno, for me, just has multiple avenues to points. I get the point around Mbeumo maybe being the better from an eye test perspective, 100%. Third best for non-penalty XGI as well. He is a great pick. But I wouldn't swap out Bruno Fernandes for him because purely Bruno has those multiple routes to points, right? He's got the penalties. He's got the DEFCON. His baseline bonus is absolutely ridiculous. So I still probably wouldn't go for it. Yeah. It is a PSG shirt. It is a PSG shirt. It's absolutely class. It's one of my favorites within the collection right now. Really big fan of it. Like I said, guys, we are going to wrap up pretty soon. We're going to go and let all the big boys go and do their thing. Let them obviously crack on and do their thing around 9 o'clock-ish. So in the next few minutes, we will, of course, be wrapping up. But if you want to continue chatting to me, of course, if you've got any questions about your team, head over to the FPL Cartel Discord. I will be live in there all the way up until the deadline, answering people's questions, reviewing teams. So yeah, get them in there as well. What do I think of Rice this week? Yeah, Rice is still a very good pickup. Again, he can hit DEFCON. Again, he has set piece share for a side that are the best side for scoring goals from set pieces. So he is going to tick along very, very nicely. The problem when you do select these Rices and Caicedos, you do just probably have to play them most weeks because benching them, it's hard to predict when they're going to hit those big hauls. João Pedro captain. If you're fancying it, go for it. But yeah. Lovely stream, mate. Good looking game week 11 and have a nice international break. Yeah, of course, content will still be coming out over the international break. As always, we'll be doing wildcard videos. We'll be doing free hit videos. If you want to join the Discord, here is the link. There you go. Get yourself in there, guys. Get yourself in there. Obviously, I'll post my team on Twitter. I don't think we're going to make any changes unless, of course, we get some random team news from the United game in the early kickoff. But other than that, that will probably be how the team lines up. Like I said, unless we get some random ass news. But other than that, we are, of course, just going to probably roll this week, take 3 into next week, and assess the situation, assess the land. Maybe, of course, like I said, Salah does come in. Maybe a Szoboszlai and a Virgil van Dijk come in. Those will probably be the players that I will be looking at over the next few days. Like I said, do keep the questions coming in. We'll stay live for a little bit while the numbers are still decent. But, of course, I will be dropping into the FPL Cartel Discord after today's deadline stream has finished to review teams, answer questions, get yourself in there as well. The link is the pinned comment. And, yeah, head over. Rice, Bruno, Caicedo, set and forget. Play around with transfers for other spots. I agree. I genuinely agree. Like, these guys you have to play every single week. Then just use your transfers on other kind of slots and stuff like that. Yep, agreed. Agreed. I'm looking to go against the grain. I've been stuck at 100k rank for 3 weeks and I need to make a move, but I can't decide who to put the captaincy on. Probably means I should stick with Haaland. I would still stick with Haaland. Like, this is going to be a week where his effective ownership will be lower. It will be lower. And if you're really unsure and there's not like another clear standout option for you, just stick it on Haaland. Don't stress about it too much. I'd still start Timber. Arsenal's clean sheet odds are above 50% this week. Got to be done. Got to be done, in my opinion. Really has to be done. Right, guys, I believe we're going to wrap things up right now. Like I said, if you want to continue chatting to me, get my opinions on stuff, get your team reviewed, enter a prize mini league, join the FPL Cartel. I'm just going to spam it in the chat. Head over to this link. Like I said, if you want to go and get your team reviewed ahead of the deadline, go and check it out. Go and get your team reviewed. Come and join me and, of course, Golden Goal, if you don't know who he is, another fantastic content creator as well. We're both in there. We'll be answering questions, reviewing teams, all that good stuff. Get yourself in the FPL Cartel. And, yeah, we'll be back tonight with a video, obviously discussing my transfer targets ahead of game week 12, talking about the international break and looking at Liverpool players and all that good stuff as well. So, yeah, we'll be over there as always tonight. And yeah, probably a video will drop after tomorrow's games as well. Plenty of content coming your way over the international break as well. Free hits, wildcards, guides, all that good stuff as always. But yeah, thank you very much for watching today, ladies and gentlemen. Really appreciate everybody that's been in today's stream. Love you lots and see you in the next one. And the best of luck in game week 11.